To get started, here's a quick disclaimer. The views and opinions you're about to hear are those of the hosts and guests alone. They don't represent any police department, agency, sponsor, or employer. Two Cops, One Donut isn't responsible for anything said by guests or for any videos, clips, or content shown during the live stream. This show is intended for adult audiences only. We cover real incidents, we show graphic and sometimes disturbing footage, and we don't shy away from strong language or adult conversations. There may or may not also be alcohol involved. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Everything you hear or see on the show is for entertainment and educational purposes. It is not legal advice, and it's not tactical instruction, and it shouldn't be used for such. By continuing to watch, you're telling us that you understand, you accept all this. All right, now let's get into it. All right, welcome back to Cops One Donut. I'm your host, Sergeant Eric Levine. I got with me, as always, my co-host, my main man, my Slimmy Slim, Mr. Banning Sweatland. What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother?
How much weight you lost so far?
I'm down in the low 270s, and after next week, I'm going to do another maybe 20-day fast. We'll see how it goes.
20-day fast. That sounds miserable.
Well,
let me get to our special guest tonight. You guys may or may not know or have heard of the Warlocker Show, formerly known as
War Stories official podcast.
Ward Story. Okay, there we go.
We had two shows too, the Locker Room podcast too.
Nice. And I got the Chuck and Tom with me. What's going on, fellas?
Oh man, just living the dream with my eyes open.
I like it, Mr. Chuck.
Not much. One step closer to death every day.
Aren't we all?
You're not using your good mic. You're using your regular one.
Yeah, you sound like you're talking through your camera or maybe your AirPods.
Got it. Thanks.
There we go.
Yeah. I hate it when I'm not on the right mic and nobody tells me, right? And then like 20 minutes in, so he's like, I don't think you're on the right mic.
I didn't realize he had a mic, or I would have said something. I didn't see
sorry.
it.
It's average size, so it hangs out just a little bit under the screen. So.
Aren't we all? Except Banning. I don't think there's anything small with Banning. I
the
can't.
brain, man. The brain.
I want to see the buddy cop show of Chuck and Banning.
I know, right? I bet they just fanboyed out about the Marines. Oh, rah, 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 crayons. The whole time.
Probably.
So, all right, guys. For those listening tonight and who end up listening to the recording of this, no agenda tonight. All I wanted to do was bring these two fellas on and have them talk about themselves and talk about what they have going on. I kind of want you guys to know their background. As the name kind of infers, there's a little bit of police, military, first responder world behind their personalities. And so without further ado, let my people get to know you guys. Who wants to go first?
Tom, go for it.
All right.
Okay. I got voluntold. Well, I'm retired police officer, happily retired. I tell people now that I'm in my 12th year of recovery.
My audience will love to hear you say that.
I'm in my 12th year of recovery from being a police officer. And years ago, we started hanging out and doing a podcast. And in the middle of it, of course, all my buddies were veterans and cops and, whatever, firefighters. And at some point, inevitably, it just devolves into swapping war stories, as it does. And so I had a friend of mine who knew the show, and he'd come on occasionally, and he was not a cop, he's a musician. He texts me, he goes, bro, I just listened to the latest episode. I said, what? He goes, switch what you're doing, stop what you're doing, just do that. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, that was the most fascinating 20 minutes I've ever effing listened to, because I got to be a fly on the wall in a room full of people talking about the things that us normies aren't supposed to ask.
Oh.
And
okay.
I went, and then years later, Chuck and everybody, and we can talk about the locker room, how that integrated later, but that's kind of how I got here.
All right.
Chuck?
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm a Marine Corps vet, and retired LAPD. Did a career there.
You can say that now. You can tell people your agency now.
Right. Yeah. I can tell them my agency now. I got retired a little bit ago, about a year ago. I got a medical, messed up my back and my knee pretty good, so they got a medical pension out of it. But
it never happens to pops at all. I don't know what you're talking
It was good. It was interesting. Saw a lot of weird stuff happen, in starting with before body cameras and then going into body cameras, doing handwritten logs, DFAR logs, and then going into like the automated stuff. That was definitely interesting, and seeing how it like policing's kind of changed and where it kind of used to be and where it was going and now where it is currently. And it's kind of interesting to see all that. I've got a bachelor's degree and a master's in business, and a bunch of kids.
He's trying
And
to
a
start
wife. Oh, and a wife. And a wife.
Oh yeah, with the same lady.
Oh no, two different ones.
Oh, okay. There's more of a cop answer.
I'm a true cop. I've been divorced, remarried, have kids with both, pay child support, all that good stuff.
That is absolutely a normal cop. I have a friend. He's got 4 divorces. That's the highest record
good at it.
I've seen. But yeah,
I was always told that I was not going to be a real cop until I drank coffee, had a mustache, and got my first divorce.
I was too. Isn't that crazy? That's the culture of policing, that when rookies get on, like that's the conversation that old salty dogs have with fresh rookies. Like, oh, you'll be a real cop once you got in your first fight. You'll be a real cop when you've got your first divorce. You'll be a real cop when you're going through IA. Like that's
right.
Why the fuck are we telling cops that?
But
You're going to be a real cop when your life gets shitty. Is what that insert any form of shittiness at the end, and that's when they tell you you'll be a real cop.
Sure. Right. It does teach you a lot, though, about having gone through it. It does teach you a lot about who you are as a person and your job as a cop, and it kind of brings everything into perspective really quick. And it forces you to grow up. So I think there is some truth behind it, but I think majority of it, you're going to have shitty times as a law enforcement officer. This is just going to hit a little bit different, a little bit harder. But I think there is some truth behind it, but I also think there's a lot of bullshit behind it too.
Yeah. I know Banning's got something to say on this, but I'll go first because it's my show. So I know Banning's computer is a little glitchy, so he's reserving himself for when he really wants to talk. But I will say this about myself. I can only talk about my own career, right?
Yeah. As
much as that stuff was jammed down my throat, figuratively, I'm an optimistic person by nature. Don't get me wrong. I do get my sense of realism or cynicism, if you will, but very small. But for the most part, I should have been divorced. I'm military and I'm a cop. I should have been divorced, right? Didn't happen. Should have never been married to the same girl that I've been with since basically 7th grade. Still am.
Wow.
Great relationship. We have our 2 wonderful daughters. And with all of the crap that I see, especially working for a big major city, I mean, Chuck, you get it. LAPD, that's what's that, the 2nd largest compared to New York?
Third. They're the third. It goes New York, Chicago, then then us. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody, when they talk about the major cities, it's those 3. So for where I'm at, I'm in one of the 10 largest, but it doesn't hold a candle to those 3. But still, I shouldn't have the attitude I have. I shouldn't still have the drive to think that I can help bridge this gap, which is what this whole show is about. I shouldn't have any of this energy. I shouldn't. Yet here I am, still very optimistic. I still think policing's great. I don't think the job is dead. Sorry, Copville. I know you're out there listening. And there's like a lot of these, Izzo is another dude. There's a lot of negative things to say. And it's not that I totally disagree with some of their takes on things, but for me, I can't have that defeatist attitude towards it, and I won't. And I think that staying positive is what's made this job so fun for me my whole career. I love it. I don't look at it as a job. I really like what I do. I think the people out there that follow us and keep coming back every week, I think that's what's won them over, is the fact that I am the way that I am. I am that way. And Banning's personality. But I'll leave it at that. Banning, what do you got to say, brother?
I just got to say, like, when we started doing this together, that's what I was able to identify in you, is that you weren't a salty dog saying everything negative with administrations. You still saw the reason on the day that you took the oath like I do. We still take it serious. Even though I'm retired now, I still talk to a whole bunch of rookie, mid-level, and veteran officers out there, trying to give advice where I can, for what that's worth. But man, I absolutely love law enforcement. Can it screw you up if you don't have the proper outlets or proper talking channels? Absolutely. But I too love law enforcement. I think that's why Eric and I are good on many levels of this. We don't agree on everything, and that's another reason why we're together on stuff. But it's great to have Eric as the main host of this. It's amazing.
I'm going to put our guest on the top.
We were always
I don't like us on the top.
I'm a top now.
Yeah. I want you to be a top.
So I like it makes good symmetry because we're dark and Banning and Chuck are light. And
That's why I did it.
There you go. I'll thank you, Sergeant Greg Dawsey. Sergeant Greg Dawsey, our academy coordinator. And I swear to you, this man, you remember that game Mike Tyson's Punch Out? You played that Von Kaiser guy, and he had that big red handlebar mustache and big red hair. Looks exactly like that. This man looks exactly like that character. Right? But he was, tough as nails. He did all the workouts with us as a retired old salty dog. But credit to Sergeant Dawsey for giving us the Condo in Redondo speech. And the Condo in Redondo was this fictional thing. Redondo Beach is this beautiful area outside of Los Angeles. I'm sure people have heard of it. It's very famous. And I couldn't ever afford, no retired cop could probably afford to live in Redondo Beach. But the idea of having a condo somewhere, having a goal, having a retire, his idea was, I want to retire to Redondo Beach in a condominium, right? And so have an end goal. And then he said, and never give up your friends who aren't cops, right? And always keep those friends. Don't let them go away. Sergeant Dawsey, you're here?
He's here with us in spirit.
Oh, God, maybe I can find a real picture of him. But anyway, he said, have a life outside this and don't let your friends become just cops because that will fuck you up. So
I like that. I don't really hang out with cops. I mean, other than the show. So, I really
Probably
don't.
why you're so level-headed and you have such a great outlook and had such a awesome, that's awesome. Having your wife almost since middle school. That's you're right. You shouldn't have that. That shouldn't be a thing, right? Because military, law enforcement, all the things that work against you. But I think it's that disposition that you have that allows that to work so well. And I would love to see more cops with that disposition because the job is a great job, Yeah. And I think when you start getting really down on yourself, that's when the bad things really start happening to yourself. You stop caring, you stop doing certain things. It's definitely not law enforcement. It's definitely certain areas that we kind of, that happens at, other agencies. Not every agency is the best agency to work for. And, I think that having people that are, so upbeat around you really creates a positive atmosphere for everyone to thrive in. And it keeps them, with more morale, happier. I've worked in both areas and I got so angry working with a partner. He was so happy all the time. And I was like, dude, you got to stop. This is making me feel things. Stop it. It's weird. Stop. And next thing I know, I keep working with him and he's a classmate of mine. And we were just laughing at it. It was a weird transition because you'd work with so many negative people that working with someone like that almost was annoying because it's making you feel things you probably haven't felt in a minute. And then you start feeling that you're happy. And then you see it affect so many other people. So, that's
yeah. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Billfold. He dropped $5 in the super chat. He said, Eric wants to make policing better. I want to keep it from getting worse. The LEO culture is toxic from the roots, but I think we want the same outcomes. And I appreciate that, Mr. Billfold. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Billfold just is having a violent agreement with you, right? Wanting to make policing better is, so, okay. Yeah. That's how you make policing not get worse.
Yep. I'm going to address the elephant in the room that just kind of clicked in my head as we were having this conversation. I would tend to say that police have a sheep-like mindset, follower mindset, and that may be the discussion tonight. Because if you think about it, what does the rookie do? What do we tell people? You're very when you become a rookie, you are very impressionable by two major things: your FTO and your academy. And those two culturally and generally oppose each other, because when you're in the academy, they're like, this is what it's going to be like out in the streets, and they have you at the peak of hypervigilance, right? Everything is going to kill you when you're in the academy. And then when you get out to the streets, we realize that ain't true. But it's good, because you're ultimately, when you train way up here and then you're not in that training environment anymore, and this is any job, this isn't just policing. There's like a kind of middle area. We some of us regress really bad, but most of us, we fall back down into like this middle area. And then you get with your FTO, who is probably the most impressionable person on you. And that culture in policing is that your FTO is the realist. He's going to let you know what's real about police work, right? And unless they're a trainer that has only been in the field a year or two themselves, then they just don't have
your department screwed up.
Yeah, then they just don't have the experience, and I'm not going to blame them for that. But I think that is the definition of being a follower. When we start looking, when you really look at it, let's be very critical on ourselves. When you really look at it, you think a great cop is that salty guy, and that's what you want to be. And then you do. Why are all of us falling down this path? I get it. There's a lot of trauma in the job, and that has a lot to do with it too. But if we are so strong-minded and so willing to live up to this oath that we swore to, why do we have such a follower fucking mindset when it comes to crack ID, when it comes to getting that ID, when it comes to, it's 2026, we still can't get a fucking First Amendment auditor situation right. We're still going up to them fucking that up. Like, how?
Well, that's ego.
Exactly. That's my point. And that's where this follower mindset comes in. What is your ego?
So you think the ego is what gives you the, because I would say, I mean, a lot of cops are, for myself, right? I am I'll be a useful adversary, right? I'll be a sounding board for I will say the uncomfortable part to my boss, even to this day, in my retirement gig, stuff like that. I will voice it respectfully. I will, and then with the paramilitary, though, that thing takes over. And when you tell me what the mission is and you tell me what the marching orders are, it's time for me to take my ego out of it and go do that, right?
Right.
The only time that I think cops have to make that inventory is what my dad always told me. My dad's a retired cop from Chuck's agency. He said, if it's not illegal, immoral, unethical, or against the law, you do it. And so I think there's a little bit of that. Maybe they don't have a follower. Maybe it's not unnatural because they go out as a cop and they're an alpha, and then whatever you want to call it, or they're a hard charger, or they make all these decisions, but then when they get back to safe, and they get back home, and they get back to their cocoon of the station or the community, that's the opinions that matter, right? Those are the people now that matter. And so now we're like, there's only one group of people in the world we want to make happy, and that's either the chief, and that you're the guy who promotes real easy, or that's the old salty guy, and you just want to make all the old dudes impressed, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. Craig said, hey, Eric, why does Chuck have your pillow? Hey, listen, we got bedside manner here. We don't talk about that on the show, guys. Let's just say he's got a very
explanatory.
he's got a very warm beard.
Yeah,
Chuck has the nicest beard I've ever come across.
Oh wow, thank you. I think that is real compliment.
Wow. All right.
I mean, I'll say this, and I know, Banning, you were a sheriff and top cop, right? Like, and I'm sure your agency, you have a lot to speak on this, and I really want to hear that, but and I kind of want to go first just so that I could hear your take on it and see if you can, have any words of wisdom too. And I'm sorry if I stepped on you.
Oh no, you're good.
But working at a larger agency, or whatever, I've seen the follower mindset for sure, where cops can't make a decision. They're inexperienced, they're timid, and it's dangerous as shit. But then I've also seen the cops that can fall into that category, but they look like they're an alpha, right? They look like they're a tough. They've got it together. They just have an attitude problem. And I've seen that a lot through inexperience and projecting your inexperience through your attitude.
Oh,
and then
your badge is this big.
Right. And it creates a toxic environment. with other cops who are younger, and they see this guy, he's got 2.5, 3 years on the job, and they're a brand new boot straight out of FTO, right? Maybe they got wheeled into a new division and they're brand new, and they see this other guy, they look up to him. You know, he's wearing his hash mark, you know, a year early type of guy, and comes off on every incident, and he's motherfucking everybody and doing all this stuff, and he's like, I'm commanding the scene. No, you're a coward sometimes, you know, and because you're doing all this stuff and you're creating enemies, and you're doing all this BS, right, that you don't need to be doing. And I found that out because I started falling in that category, right, where I was inexperienced, and I thought that showing and hiding my inexperience, I can come off with an attitude. And I had an OG gangster sit down and basically school me on it, and that opened my eyes. And ever since then, I tried preaching all that to everybody else. You know your shit. You're gonna, if you come off as with this big ego and attitude, they're gonna know right off the bat that you're brand new. So you're trying to hide your projection, or you're trying to hide your inexperience, but you're really just projecting a big street lamp that says, I'm brand new, I'm a rookie, I'm a boot type of stuff. And you catch more honey with, or you catch more flies with honey, right? Or catch more bees with honey. It's true, like being nice to people and having respect for them, even if you don't really respect them, but having them believe that you respect them, you get way more information that way. Less people try to fight you because they're like, oh, he's all right, but I don't like cops, you know, but they're not on his edge, you know, and you can kind of talk them into submission, right?
It's
so
respect.
I mean, I think there's a lot of that that's going around. And then you have the older, someone said it earlier, the less FT or more FTOs are really brand new, right? Well, I think that's a lot of it is too from the more senior guys are like, I've seen shit happen. I've seen, you know, maybe it's their agency or whatever. And they're just like, I'm not going to do that. Or they give their stripes back and they're like, I'm done. I've seen that a lot too, where they just don't want to put up with the BS anymore because they're sick and tired of the recruits that are coming out into officers, and they're just horrible, or they're hard to train, or they're untrainable, they have attitudes, and they start beefing everybody. And it's crazy. So maybe that's also factored into that too.
Yeah, I think you kind of described a little bit of that people don't look at it as following, but like you said, you saw somebody else doing that and you found yourself doing that negative attitude. Like I gotta, and again, you can only go off your own experience, but for me, I saw that, you know, my dad was a cop too. He retired from the same department that I'm at, 30 years as a police officer. You know, we got to work together for a little bit, but I saw all his friends go down that path. It was either alcoholism, getting addicted to some sort of pharmaceutical thing, DWI, getting fired, divorces, all that shit. And then I just looked at kind of all the common factors, and it was kind of some of the stuff that we talked about. So I proactively, from day one that I knew I was going to be a cop, like I just did the opposite. I'm like, it doesn't work. The stuff that all these salty veterans say makes you a good cop, it doesn't work, because look at your life. So I just kind of did the opposite. But I want to get over to Otto. We had Otto on the show 3 weeks ago, maybe. Otto, if you guys aren't familiar, and I can get you guys connected with him if you're ever interested in a very cool, funny ass guest, by the way. Dude, he should, if he's not a professional comedian, he absolutely should be, because he fucking roasted. I mean, he took it easy on us, but he roasted us, and it was fucking hilarious. But he's mostly known for his First Amendment audit stuff that he does, and it's fucking funny stuff. But Otto dropped $5 in the super chat, and he said, I had the cop roll up to me last week playing I Fought the Law and the Law Won on his loudspeaker before arresting me. It's 2026.
We used to like fuck the police rolling up to a search warrant.
That I'm not gonna lie. Even though that cop was probably wrong, Otto, that is kind of funny. You gotta admit. And then Ario dropped another $5 in the super chat and said, well, is there command presence versus a pushover? Yes, that's actually a very good point. Command presence is, to me, command presence is not fumbling over your words, actually knowing what you're talking about and not trying to fake it till you make it. Faking it till you make it can get you through in certain things, don't get me wrong. But if you want command presence, you can't be faking it till you make it. You got to know what you're talking about. And you just have to be clear and concise. It doesn't mean you have to be intimidating. It can mean as little as, like you guys know me and my podcast voice, but if I come up and I'm like, hey, I'm Sergeant Levine. Right now we are dealing with an issue over here that I can't tell you much about. Just somebody got severely hurt. We have not had time to set up our crime scene tape yet. I'm going to need you to stay behind that curb line that I'm pointing to right there. Can you see what I'm talking about? I need you to give me a verbal yes or no. If you don't understand, I'll explain it better and I'll go over here and point it to you. Now I need you to stand behind this until we can get our crime scene tape up. Are we clear? Do you have any questions?
If First Amendment auditors bother you, what are you doing wrong?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, so wait, let's go into that command presence, right? Let's talk about, because you said command presence versus being a pushover, right? Well, I was never, ever a pushover, right? But that command presence thing, when you ask about, what is command presence? Well, can you understand the difference between confidence and cockiness? Because that's a fine line.
Yeah.
But command presence is confidence, but it is not cockiness, right? I had a kid, young guy, loved him to death. He was one of my explorers, and went to the academy at 19 years old.
You loved him till he died?
Was that?
You said you loved him to death.
Yeah, loved him to death. It's unfortunate.
You said that
It's
Chuck had the best beard you came across.
It's
I'm just
true.
trying to figure out your words tonight.
I'm really rough on people, is what I'm saying.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So he, he's 19 years old, gets out of the academy at 20 and a half, gets hired at 20, can't own a firearm, right? Legally, because it was 21, but the department could issue him one and he could, have it while he's on duty and all that kind of stuff. He's so young, he's so inexperienced, doesn't have any life experience. Everybody he went up against, it was going to be a fight. Every single person, because he had to prove that he was in charge. I never felt like I had to prove that I was in charge. I just was in charge. I showed up, I was in charge. I didn't worry about it. Like, hey, this is what it is. And that's that confidence of, your case law, your Constitution. The military is not the defenders of the Constitution. The military goes out and fights elsewhere. Police officers are the defenders of the Constitution because your constitutional rights don't apply in other countries. Your body goes with you, but your rights don't. The Constitution only applies to you here.
Whoa. Let's not gloss over that. Say that again.
Police officers are the true defenders of the Constitution because your constitutional rights don't go overseas where the military fight. Your body goes, your rights don't. Your rights apply here. Well, who the hell is protecting things here? Police officers. The one who's supposed to make sure your First Amendment right isn't getting violated is a police officer. The one who's supposed to making sure they're getting an effing warrant before they hit your door is a police officer. Those are constitutional rights, and we protect them by following them. And that's what's supposed to make us better than the bad guy, is that we do it right. Sorry.
That is
myself.
Okay, I am clipping the shit out of that. That was fucking. I've never heard anybody put it that way. No. I'm gonna be honest. I never heard anybody put it that way. You're blowing my mind right now.
Sorry, I apologize.
Figuratively.
It just blowed your mind.
I'm hard on people, I guess.
That is. I mean, that, and people wonder why I get so mad in some of my reaction videos and stuff about cops overstepping on the Constitution. Oh. I don't believe that it's their intention to do that. But I also, most of them, there are some that absolutely, I just think ego and just asshole.
Yeah, contempt of cop.
Yeah. Pissed off police, whatever you want to call
ego, it. Again.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So one thing, I think Chuck was also kind of asking a question on that a moment ago. And I'm going to kind of speak just my opinion on this. And when you have guys like that just have that overblown ego out there, and you're seeing them call to call, I'm usually looking at my corporals and my lieutenants. Who is his FTO? Is he an FTO? Does he need to be pulled from that because he's teaching the wrong shit? And that goes with watching the body camera and the dash cam videos. If your agency has a proper personnel that are on the side, they're supposed to be looking at these things to catch these kinds of problems. Does he need to be retrained? And if you have that egotistical fucking asshole out there that's acting like that, yes, either you get retrained, you get with the program, or you get the fuck off the streets. Excuse my French on it.
Ooh,
that's absolutely.
It is what it is.
Going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big deal, and I've had to check a lot of people before I even wore stripes. Or going up even further, you've got to be that person on there. Just even as a canine officer with about 5 or 6 years on experience, I had a lot of young bucks coming up to me asking for advice because I did patrol before canine. And a lot of them, they would allow me to lead the beginning of their call so they could learn why there'd be a domestic, I call it a schoolyard fight, two guys fighting outside a bar. What's the best way to handle this? That ego doesn't have to come into check. When you come in there with true leadership and you're squared away and your uniform is dress to impress, and you got shine boots, and you have that presence, that should be enough. Do you have to amp up your voice sometimes? Yeah, but you don't have to be a dick. And there was a time, probably about year 6, year 7, I hit a brick wall, and I think most people know of that brick wall that you hit around 7 to 10 years of, I keep arresting the same people, the prosecution system, the DA's not doing their job, and then you somehow get motivated, get past that, and your motivation builds back up again.
Yes.
And this is something that I'm guys that are the same rank. It's your friggin' duty to check your friggin' peers out there on the street. And if you don't have the balls to check your friggin' peers, are you in the right profession?
Yeah.
I don't know how many guys and gals that I pulled aside and the call is done with, and there was nothing for me to, check in on them doing something illegal, but you're just being an asshole. Let's pull them
Yeah.
aside and talk to them. Give them some, that true peer pressure that's going to make them last longer on the street.
Can I ask a question to piggyback on that?
Sure.
And I know, Eric, you're currently still doing the Lord's work out there every day. You know what I mean? The rest of us retired guys, but I see a lot of that checking happen, on my last department, and we used to do it when I first got there, and then I was on probationary period, and for a whole year, and we did it constantly at this one division, and it was debriefs, tactical debriefs after the incident, right away with everybody who's involved, so emotions are still fresh, knowledge is fresh. We do it right then, right there, and you
No
get
rank.
no rank at all. Everyone gets checked. Everyone, hey, you speak up if they did good. You speak up if they did bad. If there was any officer safety issues, because we need to have this shit wired tight, because we need to make sure that no one else gets hurt, or that no one gets hurt in the future, right? Or keep it from getting hurt. And it kept us on our toes. And I feel like it brought us all together because everyone's getting checked. And sergeants, other people like that, FTOs are getting checked by brand new cops or cops that have been on patrol for a while, and everyone's feeling on the level playing field. And I thought that brought us together, but it also kept people's egos from getting overblown, and then I seen it happen when I was in another division that didn't do it all the time, and I was like, screw that, I'm bringing it back. And you checked one person, they got this overblown attitude, and they got really defensive, like, why are you attacking me? I'm like, I'm not attacking you, like, this, we need to learn from this. This was unsafe, right? And I was like, man, why don't they do this more often? Does your agency currently do this? And Banning, did your agency do that? And do you believe that it brought the officers closer, or how did you think that happened? Or if they didn't do you think it could make better police officers?
You want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Okay, so debriefing, absolutely, but that is a lost art amongst sergeants. I have seen, and this is what keeps me very hopeful, I've seen the regular officers in the streets doing it on their own, just like, hey, let's go talk about that call. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I love seeing that. That's what the art of the side-by-side was always designed to do, I think. For those listening, you're like, what the fuck's he talking about, the side-by-side? After the call, and we don't have another call holding, we go pull off in an empty lot somewhere, and you'll see us pull up next to each other, driver to driver. And we're discussing the call. One of us is, if there's a report, one of us is writing the report out, but we're talking, all right, man, hey, that's domestically, you went around the corner, I lost sight of you. Like, you can't do that to me anymore. Like, at least stay in eye shot, or give me a, like, hey man, I'm okay, or something. Let me know, like, stuff like that. So yes, the debrief, lost art. But I don't see it going away. I just think it has to be emphasized. It's one of those things that kind of ebbs and flows. It's like people really see the benefit of it, then it just flows through the whole department, and then it just kind of dies down, and like, why are we sucking? Oh, we're not debriefing. We need to start debriefing. So to answer that part of your question, I got sidetracked and forgot what the second part of the question was. I'm sorry.
Do you think it would make better cops if it happened more frequently?
Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely. I mean, hands down. That's
a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I just think it'll make better cops. Banning, you go, and then when you get done, we got to get to some of these comments, because we had somebody drop $50 in the super chat.
Yeah.
And we had another person reach out over on Instagram. So
yeah, just real quickly, Chuck, on mine, the last agency I worked for, which was a small county agency, I don't think they knew what the word debrief was. There was no I hate to use military terminology of an after action report. It was, we got done with a messy call. It could have been an officer involved shooting, and everybody just kind of 10-8, clear for service. I'm like, whoa, what do you,
Wow.
what's going on here? Let's bring this back in and huddle. And they're like, well, you can watch my video cam later. It's our time for, and what they used to call it here was signal 12. It's time to go to lunch. And, in any way, so I started enacting that here. I know what it is. I know what it is where you're at, brother, and it's where it was at. I was at previous. But anyway, it wasn't enacted, and I feel once I enacted that, just at the mid upper level, it made guys really appreciate, now they knew how to work through the call during the call instead of just getting a write up or drug into IA a week later. They're learning. And then I would also do on quiet nights, we would do scenario based training. So we would be in the high school, in the elementary school. I would bring out actors and we would do things. Obviously, there's a safety component. We had to do it very safely with a safety component, but they weren't getting scenario based training at the small academies that they go through in this part of North Texas. So yeah. I brought in scenario based training, and they're like, man, I think I did this once on a felony traffic stop in the academy class. And that was the only scenario based. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I started enacting that. And then you started seeing a lot better numbers, a lot more compliments coming through dispatch or in the mail on the deputies, as opposed to they did this, this, and this to me. You had to communicate up and down that leadership levels, because if you didn't, your guys are just coming to work for a job. And then if your guys are just coming to work for a friggin' job, you got a problem if they've lost that honest accountability.
I like that. I believe I'm with you on that. So over on Instagram, hey guys, if you're on Instagram or TikTok watching us, we appreciate it. One of the things that we are trying to do is get all of you that do watch us over there, because it's harder for us to participate with y'all, to jump over to our YouTube channel. So that's what we're trying to funnel you guys over there. I don't mean to pick your platform for you, but it does make things easier.
It is harder to respond to Instagram.
Yeah. So to the Zeke BJJ, he's a Brazilian guy, Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner that I follow over on Instagram. But he said, how often do you see someone get a crappy call to respond, clear it, then carry the same energy to the next call at their detriment? Holy shit. That's when we start seeing the burnout, and we should start reaching out to the officers and be like, bro, you can't come with that energy on my calls. Like, you got to relax. Like,
well, it's not you, right? It's a uniform. They don't know you. Right? Nothing is personal in this job, right? I feel like more cops need to watch Roadhouse,
Yeah.
They need to see the scene where Patrick Swayze calls the dude out and he goes, what? Somebody calls your mother a whore and it's not personal? And he goes, I don't know, is she?
Yeah.
Right?
Calls my mama a whore.
Right. But so, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I agree. And then I want to get to this one. Trevor Francis, 1984, over on YouTube, said for $50 in the super chat, which is holy shit. That doesn't happen often on here. So thank you so much. None of the money that we get goes into our pockets. It goes right into the show. So thank you very much. But Trevor said, how do we keep cops human? Stoked for DFR. That's your drone first responder, which I'm a big part of that in the industry. So when you guys are talking about DFR, if you ever have questions or you ever want to know what I'm out there trying to do for it in the space, I will talk about it with you. Anyway, said not stoked for the first robots that'll roll out whenever that may be. It's coming. I'm worried that the measured sacrifice you just mentioned on the salty old vet is what will usher in the robot asshole. That's a good take. Robots are going to be a thing. Guaranteed.
I'd love to hit this one real quick.
All right.
So a big component of that, I think, Billy, is what do you believe the role of a police officer is? Really, at its fundamental core, right? Do you believe that a police officer's job is just, arrest people, right? I put people in jail and I enforce the rules because that's the role? Or is it, oh, my job is to protect people, right? Oh, that's another different mindset. But if your job is preserve social order while protecting constitutional rights and human dignity under chaotic conditions, that's probably it, right? That's the sweet spot where,
Yeah.
you know, you're like, okay, look, my dad said your job is to keep the dipshits from the assholes, right? There's dipshits and assholes in the world. And when dipshits can dipshit together and assholes can asshole together, and there's no problems. But whenever a dipshit and an asshole get together, things get gross. So let the assholes go be assholes, let the dipshits go be dipshits, and keep them apart, son.
I think Team America said it better, but that's a good point. If you remember,
Yeah.
you remember.
Yes. We don't
Dicks,
have to-
pussies, and assholes.
Yes.
I
But
got
think about it,
Chuck
right?
giggling.
Like if you start to think in terms of metrics, right? Arrests, if you start to look at UCR data, arrest data, all that kind of stuff, if you police by a spreadsheet, then you take the human side out of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yep.
Because good cops, that's what makes them good cops. They're humans capable of the most beautiful word in policing, discretion.
Yeah.
Mm.
Agree.
And a lot of people don't have it because a seasoned cop who knows what the shit he is doing can look at a crying drunk at 2 a.m. in a parking lot that he shouldn't be there and go, this guy might not be a predator. He might be a poor guy that's about to lose his wife. Right.
Yeah.
It's understanding pattern recognition, but also having empathy and knowing human consequence, not spreadsheet consequence. So if you get to spreadsheet policing, there's your fucking robot. Sorry.
No, you're good. I want to get back because Mr. Billfold had a good comment. I'm going to pop it up here in a second, but to your cops are the ones that are defending the Constitution, not the military,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
So I want to ask you to this question as seasoned police officers in your entire careers, other than the academy and maybe some college that you went through, what constitutional training did you get? Whether it be annual 40-hour training.
I think Eric went a little sideways because of the thunderstorm. I got legal update training. I don't know about you, Chuck. Did you get legal update?
We had a bunch of California Post trainings that we had to do every single year.
Yeah.
The LMS training, which was just a learning management system training that we would have to do, and all these new updates would come out, and notices and special orders would come out, or updates to the special orders. And
Mhm.
if you had good leadership, they're like, hey, you take some time today and get this done. But then it's, and then that would just, you would take it, you would acknowledge it, you'd see the new special order, the update to the special order. And that special order could just be like a notice of, hey, this law is changing. You're going to have to, follow these things, or, hey, the law has changed on this. Make sure that our policy has gone from this to this with use of force, and this to this for, searching, and this to this for stopping vehicles, and this to this for searching vehicles, and make you acknowledge all that stuff. So we got a lot of that stuff constantly, but it got to a point where you got so busy, understaffed, overworked, and you were still expected to go through all this training every year. And it got to a point where you're like, I'm not having time to do it, and you don't have time during the day. And then you ask to, hey, can I do this at home? Can I just claim 4 hours of, OT at home, or to do it after work, not at home, I'm sorry, but to do it after work. And some of these things you could do at home because it's through California Post. All you have to do is log on with your username and password. So we got some of that. We definitely did get a lot of training on that. You got a lot of the academy training, which was so many hours, and I couldn't spit a number out there. I'd just be lying to you. And then there was frequent California Post that, were like 30, 40, 60 hours or whatever, how many hours they were. They're a good amount every year or every few years for an update. So, I mean, that was a frequent thing. I don't think it's like that for every agency, though. I really don't.
No. And when I say legal update, I mean, they would constitutional law, they'd talk about case law, they'd talk about new stuff coming out. We would get, legitimate updates on stuff like that. And you need to, if you're not getting it, your department is failing.
Yep.
Well, I mean, how many departments are failing their officers because they're not doing training? Probably most of them, right? Let's be honest. Training is, I have a theory. I pitched this, Chuck. Remember when we had our first, we had a chief of police, not our first chief. We had a chief of police on. It was our first female chief on. And I pitched to her an idea, and she was like, you know what? If you ever get any traction with that, I'll support it. And I said, cops should be required to go police for 11 months. And then for 1 month, go back to the academy. And while there for a month, like get legal update training, get skills training, make sure their physical fitness is great, but also have structured debriefs, have some group therapy sessions, right? Like, but that are looking like structured debriefs, you know? Because let's face it, we know that on our show, we always joke that I hate group therapy, but I'm perfectly willing to participate in it as long as we call it a podcast, right? So,
And here in the state of Texas, and y'all can still hear me, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I've got some weather too, so I apologize if y'all lose me. Eric's trying to get back on. There's a group text between the four of us he just sent out, so y'all know he's trying to come back in. Here in Texas, they have a 40-hour mandated training. So, and part of that for every 2 years is you have to do the legislative updates. And the legislative updates are great. Every officer in the state needs to understand that. And I believe it's the same in Oklahoma, Louisiana, New Mexico as well. I have to double check. But you don't see hardly any large or small agencies in the state of Texas doing the constitutional training and getting kind of highlights from a lot more people globally or nationwide, I should say. Ever since I've been on the show with Eric, it is a problem. The constitutional training now kind of rests in the FTO if the academies aren't pulling the weight on it. I mean, that's my whole thing is our FTOs have got to be in check. So therefore, the chief or sheriff of every agency needs to make sure that is being enacted in all phases, including ghost phase, to make sure our guys and gals that are new out there are actually getting the proper training.
Yeah, I would agree. And train. You will. I always tell the people I teach, no one has ever risen to the occasion. Not once. They have always fell to their lowest level of training every time. And when you see somebody who quote unquote rose to the occasion, he did not, or she did not. They prepared.
I mean, training is, man, I wish more agencies had more active training. I mean, I can only speak for my agency, and I thought this was really good, better than other places, because my dad was CHP, friends were other agencies, and they didn't have to go and shoot as much as us and do scenario drills. So every 2 deployment periods, you'd have to go and do a handgun, and then once per year you'd have to do shotgun, and then another time throughout the year was like June or July, you would have to do FOSS, force option simulation, right? And you would run you through, if you had good training staff, they would run you through the FOSS options, and you'd spend like 30 minutes and they'd put you through a bunch of different scenarios: shoot, don't shoot, never even pull your gun out type of scenarios. And you have to articulate it and debrief the call basically after each one, give your disposition, your dispo. And I thought that was really good. And you got to a point where you were doing this, a few years in, and if you had really good staff, you would really see it. And it helped me be way better, especially when you're constantly training shoot scenarios. When you actually get into that shooting, it makes it like repetition, and it's less I think there's less hesitation. You know what you have to do. Your body's and mind's already been conditioned to do it. So you see it, the threat's presented, you take action, it's done, officers go home safely, suspect goes to jail or to the morgue, and people live, right? That are supposed to. And I think that is a really good officer safety thing. And I know I don't see many cops doing it. And my buddy runs a force option simulation company, or Net runs it, but he's like one of the directors for it and does a lot of traveling. And he's telling me all the time how many agencies don't have it, and they're trying to get into those agencies and then upgrade the other ones that currently do have it and trying to get them to switch their provider and all that stuff. But I also think that's when it comes to things like that, it's people being in positions that shouldn't be in positions, right? Don't know how to write grants to get these trainings, aren't running it, because you don't need all that wazoo stuff. You can run it in-house. To have people, the senior guys and training staff or the sergeants or whatever, run your younger guys through this frequently and do all these different trainings. I think it's really good. And that falls on the leadership portion. And and places that aren't doing it, I think it's falling short because of the leadership is not there, and it's the inaction, and they're just in it, and they shouldn't probably be in that position. And I really saw this in my career that I'm in now. People in positions that shouldn't be in positions, and just because you get promoted to a management role doesn't mean you're a manager, doesn't mean you're a leader. And then they keep thinking they have to manage people. You don't manage people. We learned it in the Marine Corps. You lead people. You manage like tasks, assignments. You don't manage the people. You lead them. You lead from the front and by example. And I think that's falling by the wayside far too often, too much. And I knew it was happening in law enforcement, and I saw it happen in the company that I work for now. And I was like, oh my God, this is everywhere. This is like a systemic problem, and it's crazy. And I don't know why that's happening, but I think it's has a lot to do with it.
Well, I'm going to look at some of the chat here, Chuck. And what I found was interesting is Mr. Billfold says some of the really egregious examples of ego-driven misconduct have zero to do with training deficiencies and just everything to do with abuse of authority. And I 100% agree, because then somebody else, I think it was Lacey or one of the other people, said it was more than some, right? And I would say really egregious, a lot of the really egregious, you can track almost all of those down to ego. Because if it's egregious, as opposed to just the really egregious ones usually are deliberate. If somebody's not being deliberate about it, if they're not being intentional, it's a mistake, it's an honest mistake, it's usually not as terrible maybe of an outcome. But we do have to look at those people. The thing is what's their heart? Everybody says, well, it's just a few bad apples. And to some extent, that's true. But to some extent, we also have to look at what is systemic, what's corporate in law enforcement. We talked about it a little bit earlier, which is that salty veteran having too much sway on the young guys. I'll ask you guys this: what's more dangerous, a 30-year veteran with slick sleeves and a bad attitude, or a 3-year veteran with a 7-foot tall badge?
Yeah,
because I will take a 30-year veteran with a bad attitude on a call over the 3-year veteran with a gigantic badge any day.
100%. Can you guys hear me?
yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not registering my audio around my picture. You know how you can see it lights up green when you're talking, but
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Because you turn your camera off.
Yeah, I had a lightning strike. I was in mid sentence and I was like, "Fuck!" right away. So
That's right,
Ario,
right up.
yeah, Ario, thank you very much for the $5. He said, "What about running tricky constitutional scenarios?" So I was in the middle. Now I remember I was in the middle asking you guys, like, what constitutional training did you guys have? I don't know how far you went with that.
We went deep.
You went deep. Okay,
Yeah.
so
We talked about legal update. We talked about how you need half legal update. We had legal update. We had constitutional update, all that kind of stuff. And you have to have that.
right, and the majority of the country, I would say, the consensus is that they don't get much constitutional training. And I'll put it to you this way. I don't think a lot of the legal courses that we're taking when it's case law updates, not necessarily really harping on Constitution as much as it is what it involves with a search and a seizure, which is typically what most of the case law we go over is search and seizure or use of force. But they're not going down the Constitution and be like, all right, 8th Amendment, this is what we're doing. This is what the 8th Amendment says. Because if I walk up to a cop and just I don't want to test him on a verbatim test. I don't ever think that's the right way to go. And there's too many people that really, well, he doesn't know the First Amendment. Does he? Or just does he know the elements? If he's able to knock off the 5 or even top 3 of the First Amendment, all right, he doesn't need to know them verbatim. He knows what he's talking about. But does he know how to apply them? Does he know what it said? And then Mr. Billfold had a comment. So this is what triggered the thought in my head. He said, "The Lord's work building out the spy state infrastructure for the man. I love Eric. We need some voices, a reason to catch us up with surveillance." And oh shit, that was not the comment.
I am not in favor of more surveillance, by the way.
So it had something to do. He had said something about a sheriff is the elected position.
Oh yes,
the
sheriff is the constitutional.
That's the most constitutional position that we have in law enforcement.
Right.
But then look at when we go down the line and start asking officers how much constitutional training they had in their lifetime. Mm-hmm. Do they do it reoccurring or any of that? Most of them say no. They don't get any constitutional training other than that little 1-week brief or 2 weeks on a decent academy, or, they don't really touch on it. You swore an oath to something that you don't really train on. Mm-hmm. And then and this is what really rocked the point for me. It was when you said, we're the defenders of the Constitution.
Yes, we are.
I've never thought of it that way. I've always thought about it as being a military guy. I'm the one defending. Well, I'm Air Force. The other military branches are the one defending the Constitution. But
for whom? But right, but for whom?
Right. That's a good point. That's what I'm getting at. It's like I never thought of it like that. So that's a really cool perspective. So that is Ryan, shut up. He's saying that the storm's an excuse. He says he knows I'm AI.
No digital ID for me, thank you. No
would do-
barcode, no chip, no. I'm sorry, I will not take the mark of the beast. I apologize.
See, we're way different. Give me the Neuralink. Give me it all,
Nope.
baby. I want to be
No,
a
I'll
human
take a
computer.
no, if you're going to give me a Neuralink, that's different.
I want to walk around
But
just knowing
Not
everything.
a digital ID. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm not in favor of AI cameras. I'm not in favor of surveillance cameras. I'm not in favor of red light cameras. I'm not in favor of any of that.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Yeah. And that's when we were talking about the DFR earlier is like something one of the reasons I'm in the position that I'm in with this national association is I'm trying to keep those checks and balances and best practices across the board. I think if you're going to have a drone program, let's say, you need to have a transparency website. And what is that? So here's what anybody out there concerned about your department getting a drone program. Here's my recommendation. They have a website within 24 hours of a flight. I don't want it to be immediate because you got case integrity and stuff like that. But within 24 hours of a flight, every drone flight is put up on the site. You know exactly where it went. You can see the flight path. You know who the pilot was, and you know the case that it's associated with of why they were flying. If they're not flying,
you're talking about a single deployment for a drone on a call specific incident, I don't necessarily disagree. I'm not a fan of blanket surveillance without, because to me,
right?
Right,
There's
this
a
is what we're
police
talking
reason.
about. Reasonable suspicion, right? We had to have a reasonable suspicion to detain or stop somebody, right? So I don't like the fact that we can, just flick a camera on and say, well, I don't have reasonable suspicion. I'm just watching everybody, right?
Right.
I don't like that. And Lacey made a comment. I wanted to speak to this. She said, if it's only a few bad apples, what happens? Why is there's what do all the good apples do? Or why? I did not have the power to hire and fire or punish or discipline people. All I had the power to do is look at them and say, if you ever fucking do that again, when I'm working with you, we'll never be working together again. Or I'm not going to risk my pension for you. I'll risk my life for you, but I'm never going to risk my pension for you. So if you're going to do something illegal, immoral, or unethical, I'm just letting you know, if you do it in front of me, you're going to get, I wasn't that guy that was like the blue wall, omerta, no, fuck you. I'll give you a perfect example. This guy is not a cop anymore. Right. Thank God. I was standing at the evidence counter and I had a paper bag, the old lunch bags that kids used to take their lunches in. And it was literally open and full of weed. Just pulled the guy over, full of weed, right? Back in California when you could still actually do something with it. And it looked like it was greater than an ounce, which meant it was bookable. And cool, fine. So got it, seized it. I didn't even book him. I just seized the weed and I was weighing it. And Chuck, it was 28 grams, not 28.5. Which matters in California because if it's not the 0.5, it's not bookable, period.
Yeah.
And so I went, man, you got me. And the guy goes, what? And he goes, he set the bag down with his dealer. They put an ounce in it and then they took just enough out to make it less than an ounce. They probably smoked it together and he left. He got me. And he's like, oh, here, I can just give you a little weed out of mine and you could make it the full ounce. And I went, what the
what?
I'm like, number one, no, I'm good. And number two, fuck no. And then I finished packing up my shit. Because when I was saying it, I just had respect for the dude. I was like, he got me. He was smarter than I was. He won.
Yeah.
Game respects game. It is a game. And if you don't look at it like a game, then you're going to take it personal, right? But I'll tell you what I did do. I went to the sergeant and said, hey, I don't know if he was joking or serious. I didn't bother to ask, but this is the interaction I just had, and I don't like it. And I walked out.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think your mindset is right. People, I understand when I tell people I always looked at it as game and entertainment. That's what I said. It's a game. It's entertainment. Front row seats to the greatest show on earth. And that's why I like being a cop. But that's also how I keep the mindset of not taking things personal. Is this is a show for the uniform. It is not a show for me personally. So that's what I'm talking about when I say that.
Right.
It's just it can be hard at times to always keep that mindset. I'm not going to sit there and act like I've never been emotionally wrapped up in a call. I have, but I've always been very good at separating myself. Hey, take this. I want to punch this dude in the face.
Yep. Oh
And
yeah.
I just back off. I'm
Checking
like,
yourself and saying, nope, I'm out. Can you handle this for me? Is a huge part of it.
yeah.
Or your buddy checking you.
Yeah, or that. I was always very good at stepping in between people. One of the calls that we talk about quite a bit on here is the Sonia Massey case, the boiling water. And I think that is where the officer that was not the dude that was a complete D-bag that is in prison now, that shot that poor lady in the face. Do you guys remember that case?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that was a perfect example of when the partner should have stepped in and said, hey, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like kind of at the moment, they should have left so many other times. But when he said, I'm going to do that and I'm going to shoot a fucking hole in your head or whatever. And he's in the living room. She's in the kitchen. I'm like, whoa. Sorry. All right, ma'am. Partner, you go outside, ma'am. You have a nice day. Here's our card. If you got any problems, we're out. Like,
right,
bro, what the fuck was that? Like that should have been the moment, and that didn't happen. And so that's why I do put a lot of responsibility on the partner as well in that to further the conversation of what we're talking about. So, but Mr. Billfold said flock is, I don't even know how to say that word. I'm assuming pernicious. I don't even know what that means. So,
oh, well,
does anybody? I don't know what that means. Mr. Billfold, you're using big words. I'm just a cop. So
yeah, if he was smarter, he would have gone to the fire academy.
Yeah. Right.
No, it's just destructive. It's pernicious is something that is subtly, sneakily destroy. It's like toxic, eroding.
Ninja.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Kingslayer dropped $5 and said, did you see the story about Flock employees accessing Flock cameras pointed at children's gymnastic classes? No, I did not.
What?
I did not see that. Interesting. I could care less if that's a Flock camera. I would care more that that's any camera and having access. I don't think that it's Flock has anything to do with it. I think that it's just somebody doing some nefarious stuff that they should not be doing. And they should be dealt with. Looking through the comments. Sorry, I did get Instagram back up and go. This is pretty cool to know, guys. That's the first time we ever lost power during a live. Nothing dropped off. I clicked on Instagram. Wow. It was still going. I clicked on Restream. It was still going. Y'all were running. I was just like, all right, let me get my shit up and running. I could hear you guys. You just couldn't see me because I hadn't got my camera going yet again. So good to know.
In the chat says it sounds like snitching. And I'll say, okay, then it's snitching. I told what happened because I'm not an unethical piece of shit.
What did they say?
Somebody in the chat said it sounds like snitching. I don't know. It sounds like snitching. And I said, okay, so I was snitching.
Yeah,
I've seen caught doing stupid shit. Don't do stupid shit.
Yeah, I've seen cops do dumb shit unintentionally.
Sure, a true training issue,
right? And that is where I'll defend them a lot more. I'm like, what the fuck were you doing? And they explain, well, I was doing this and that because of this. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see where the disconnect is. One, you're an idiot. This is what that means. And you go through and you try to retrain them, and you try to deal with it that way, see if it fixes the issue, especially if it's somebody you work with every day. Handle it at the lowest level. And then if that doesn't work, and I think this is a lost art with just people in general. Everybody wants to cancel everybody immediately. I'm like, no,
there's no room for grace.
Right. I'm like, no, if this is savable, fixable for sure. Like there's an officer, he went to go put his gun back in his holster and he fired around. And people, he doesn't need to be a cop anymore. I'm like, really? I don't think that's true.
But some of it's just burnout. Some of it is just the poor guy. And it's not an excuse. It's an explanation, right? So just when I say it's just burnout, I'm not saying that's just burnout. That's fucking fine. No, please. I am a big proponent of excuses are not explanations are not excuses. Okay. So let's just start right there. But burnout accelerates what we're talking about because a tired cop starts seeing calls as an individual, and he starts categorizing, and saying, oh, well, this is this, and this is how I do this. It's not, they don't get there and meet people and then use discretion and decide how best to help those people. I would have gotten in trouble one time for letting a wife take the wheel of a car instead of her husband. I would have gotten in trouble if they found out I did that. But
Yeah.
it was the right thing to do at the time.
Yeah. Yep. All right, boys. I want to get to another portion we like to do to drive some conversation and give some clarity to, this is kind of a formula. I don't know if I've ever explained this to y'all, but if those in the audience are listening, they don't understand this part. There's kind of 3 tiers to what we do. We have a traditional podcast where I'd have Tom on. We just talk just about Tom. What's your career been like? We go all the way down. Then that's a 2-3 hour. Just depends on how much you got to say about your career. That's path 1. That's education, humanizing perspective on one person's position in law enforcement or whatever in the criminal justice system. To even having people convicted of homicide we've had on, people that have been wrongly convicted. We've had all these different things. We had Kyle Rittenhouse on. So that is one portion of the show. Next portion is the social media presence, the shorts, the reels of doing reaction videos and talking about hot topics in policing. Well, one of the things that we do to drive on the live stream is we take those ones that get high engagement and we bring them and put them on here, and then we kind of discuss them a little bit further, and we get the perspective not just from me, because I'm one voice in a sea of law enforcement, but all of the seasoned people that we get on the show. So that is what we're going to pull up next. I'm going to share the screen. We're going to go to our X account. The reason we use X is because not because I only have 500 followers on X. I cannot grow X, but the reason we use it is because the playback's probably the best out of all the stuff we do. It just shows up on the screen the best. So we are going to show this one. I'll give you the background on this one. Is a kid tries to rob a veteran, elderly veteran at a store. Okay, so just watch this. Let me see if I hit. Oh. We're going too far ahead here. Let's hit play.
Man tries to rob an elderly veteran.
How casual he is.
Right.
No real rush or hurry. Now there is, because he's like, oh shit. Little does he know they locked the door, which is always risky, but he realizes he ain't going nowhere. Little Second Amendment right there. Gives him his money back. Talks some shit while he's doing it. Walk of shame. They let him go.
Handles.
So the point that I was trying to bring up in this video is policing cannot be done by itself. We should not be doing everything. The community can't do everything on their own either. It really, truly takes a team. Now, in this instance, it just took the community. But I think that the community has been so uninvolved is why he was so fucking casual about just nonchalantly reaching over, taking this man's money like nobody was going to do a fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how I saw that one. And that's why I thought it was such a great video. Chuck, what do you think?
Yeah, Chuck.
I thought that was really good, and I agree. I love it when the community gets involved, and I think it's like a systemic problem right now going on with everybody, wanting to film instead of help, and seeing things go on, and it's never it's so great when people deliver street justice, and I get there, I don't have to do a damn thing. All I do is arrest. I didn't have to have a use of force, maybe go to the hospital, spend a couple hours, write the report while I'm there, take the person to jail. It's all gravy, but I think that when the public gets involved, it's great, but it's also dangerous too.
Yes.
And if the public gets involved in really dangerous things, sometimes it might just be better for them to just call and be a great witness. If they don't have a means to stop the person, right? Like they're going to get themselves hurt. They're going to get themselves killed. And I could never in uniform be like, hey, next time you see something like this, act on it, because if they get hurt and they take my word for it, I can get in trouble. But I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's good, but I also think it can have its drawbacks too.
Marine Blood, one of our mods said Eric needs a generator. Donate here so he doesn't lose power again. I love it. Okay, so Tom sent a link. We have not seen this video.
So this is a just another classic, I think, example of what you're talking about. This guy gets literally stuck on an escalator, and I'm not the dumb, I don't know how to get off an escalator Will Ferrell bit. You see him, he's stuck, like it's eating him, right?
Right.
But the family is all mad and they're asking for answers because in the surveillance video, you see him right here, you get stuck, and then the stairs next to him, I didn't even count how many people walk past him. So he falls, right? And then the thing eats his clothes and he's stuck there. He can't get up, right? And now these people are going to walk down the staircase next to him.
1, 2, 3.
And
at least 3.
Never tell anybody.
Or he goes back up 5, 6,
like
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Jesus.
And then finally somebody must have said something because this yellow safety jacket comes over and goes, "Sir, are you okay?"
Right. So he can't sleep there. Keep it moving.
That disconnect, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then when we turn and see what we saw in the store, one, I really love that there was at least 2 Second Amendments in there. One we saw clearly, and another one that a follower of ours pointed out, a community member, was like, "Hey, did you see the imprint of the other guy? He had one too." So that tells you the type of restraint they had, that they didn't go to that, even though technically, it just depends on the state you're in. At least in Texas, they would have had all rights to do so. On top of it being a, elderly veteran that you're fucking with. So, not that makes him better than anybody else, but definitely helps the headlines. Super chat Kingslayer dropped $5 and said, I will never help a cop when a cop is trying to detain someone, as I don't believe cops rolling up on the scene would help me from an unlawful detention. Ooh.
I've actually done that, so that's not true. Patently false. I have actually showed up and said, "What do you have?" And they go, "I'm working." And I go, "You don't kick him. You don't have.
You don't have it. You gotta let him
have it."
Oh. I don't think that makes what he says false. I just think that makes what he says like it's.
No, I mean, he believes it, but I'm telling you, I have done it. He doesn't believe that he would. I am telling him 100%. I know there's at least one cop out there at one point in his career that did it, and I would be willing to bet Eric has done it. I'd be willing to bet Chuck has done it. I'd be willing to bet Banning has done it.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's really what it is. You get somebody calls out for assist. They're by themselves. They detain somebody, and you get over there and like, "What do you got?" They're like, "All right, well, this guy, he was over here, and then he told me to go fuck myself, and so I detained him real quick, and then I want to run him for warrants and get his name, but he won't give me his name." I'd be like, "So you put him in cuffs because he said fuck you?" Yeah. He's disorderly. He's obstructing my investigation. That doesn't fit.
Yeah, you started off wrong.
Yeah,
the whole very start of your interaction was incorrect.
This is literally an actual. I'm giving you a real life example.
Oh, and I've seen it before too.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that's freedom of speech. You got to cut them loose. You better apologize to him and let him know. If I were in your shoes,
yes,
I would tell him I was wrong. Say, hey, I was wrong. I thought I had something right. I wasn't right. If you want to make a complaint, here's what you do. I can get my sergeant over here. Whatever it is. It's the cops that like beat feet. And then they tell, they let him go. Like, you're going to get complained on and you deserve a complaint. But I don't think any situation's unsalvageable if you truly made an honest mistake. Did you let ego take over a little bit? Yeah. But does that mean you got to double down? No.
Well, and what if it's okay. So first of all, that could be a failure to train, right? How many young cops don't know that this is lawful, right?
Right.
And I have had somebody flip me off, and I looked at him. I said, "You got 9 more of those fingers? Take all 10 of them and shove them up your ass." And I walked away. Right? Like, I don't,
Yeah.
But I've also had people go, if they do this, I'm going to go over to them and say, "Hey, can I help you?" And they go, "No." And I go, "Oh, well, I thought you needed me." And they go, "No, what do you mean I needed you?" And I said, "Well, didn't you go like this? Like, come here."
Yeah.
Like, no. And then, but I'm just fucking with them at that point because they were fucking with me, and I'm not detaining him. I'm just asking him, "Hey, you guys need help?" And I want you to tell me to my face, "No, I was just flipping you off." And I go, "Oh, okay, have a nice day." And I walked away.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's what I want. It's funny. It's a game.
Yeah. Friendly Bob dropped $10 in the super chat. He didn't even say anything. That's now that is a man. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you a lot. You can say stuff too when you drop the cash. Let us know. Really, truly appreciate that. Thank you very much. So all right, we went down that. I'm looking down at the comments. See Freeman in there. I haven't even said anything to Freeman tonight. I feel bad. We have a lot of people in here that are regulars, guys. So Free is one of those. He's been with us a long time.
Nice.
He said, Eric, the ads on the lives can only mean the channel is growing. It's every few minutes. I'm sorry, guys. So the last time we went live, these guys were, maybe it was the time before that. They said that the ads were killing them. I'm like, I've done nothing different. Nothing.
Right.
So I think it's the growth of the channel that's actually making that happen. So that's a good problem to have, I guess. All right.
There was something I saw, but because I want to just tag back up on the flock camera thing. I don't think I said what I was going to say, but I saw somebody in the chat talking about the cops looking at gymnastics, their kids gymnastics or something like that.
Yeah.
And they said, what happened to it or whatever. And we told them not to do that. Well, okay. We know that you can't run somebody through NCIC, CLETS. You don't run people just because you can run a plate because you're behind a car, but I'm not at home or I'm not running people because it's unethical and in a lot of cases illegal to access the law enforcement telecommunication system without a lawful purpose. So I would argue that if you access a surveillance camera without reasonable suspicion, then you should take the same penalty. It shouldn't be retraining. It should be, hey, we should have some policy that says accessing these cameras without reasonable suspicion or probable cause is about the same as running somebody's criminal history or anything like that without probable cause. You have to have it. And if you don't and you access it, then we take the appropriate action.
Interesting.
We're not above the law.
Interesting. All right, let's get to that. Let me see here. This is what sucks when I don't have my Allen or my dead leg behind scenes. I got to run everything myself. We're gonna share screen. We're gonna hit play, biggie size. There we go.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in that second pocket.
Is it? You got one in the chamber?
No.
Weapon?
So one of you makes a lot of money and the other one don't, huh?
What's that?
Because one of you's got a real Glock and the other one's got a Palmetto Glock.
These two.
Oh,
All right. So
Funny.
I brought it was good. It was good interaction. Don't get me wrong, but this is where I talk about overstepping. Now they got consent. I'll give you guys the backstory. It was a simple traffic stop on these motorcycle riders. They were open carrying, and the officer asked if he could check their weapons, and these guys agreed to do it. Are we all on board here? That's consent.
yes.
Technically, legally, nothing wrong, right?
Sure.
Okay. So for me, and this is the point that I was trying to make on this, is I think that when we start disarming citizens for curiosity and fishing purposes, we are overstepping. I don't believe that we should be taking weapons off of people for no other reason other than fishing and curiosity. And that's what that was. If you had some reasonable, articulable suspicion, your spidey senses are going off, you got a safety concern, you're by yourself and both of them are armed, and you're like, this is sketch. They're giving me a weird vibe. Something other than just a simple traffic stop and you just want to check just to see. I think that it's wrong. I think it's an overstep. And I think that at least in this, I got a lot of flack from cops in other states. Now, Chuck, you being the most anti-gun state that I probably know of other than Illinois, like, what is your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm so glad you asked because I've run into these problems and I completely agree with you. If we're taking things off, especially if you're in a state that's open carry, what business do you have doing that if it's just a regular traffic stop? It's illegal. It's an extension. It's in my eyes, I agree. I agree with you. But then on the other hand, if you were to do that in California, you would be getting every single person calling in on you. It would be a massive felony stop. You would get proned out. It'd be helicopter overhead. There'd be perimeter set in place. It would be wild, right? And we are trained in the academy in California to ask for weapons. And if you have a CCW, you asked, where is it? Do me a favor, don't touch it. Show me your papers. I need to make sure I verify. Are you a cop? You do all these different things. We never got told just immediately disarm them. Keep your hands where I can see them. You reach for that gun though, while I'm trying to ascertain the information that I need, I will shoot you. You
Right.
know, I need to make sure first who you say you are and that you have a legal purpose for that. They pop out, yes, I'm a cop. Hey, can I see your badge? Hey, it's right here. Do you mind if I reach for it? And then they do it. Or they're just like, hey, go ahead and do it yourself. You grab it. I'll keep my hands up here. You can hold on to them. Give them that respect. If I was getting pulled over, hey, it's right here. I am armed. I always self-designated. I've been pulled over a few times by CHP. And that's what I said. Hey, my gun's on me, or hey, it's over here. Hey, it's in my bag.
Mhm.
That type of thing. And so that we got taught that, but you would see cops all the time that, the person's carrying a gun, and there's a fine line. It's a misdemeanor if it's not loaded and it's just in the car. You can get to it. You don't have a license to conceal it. It's a misdemeanor, right? It's a felony once it's loaded, and all this other stuff. And if you use it in commission of a crime or whatever, I've seen cops, and this is what I didn't agree with at all. Pull someone over. They're just sitting in their car and they're in the alleyway. They're waiting to get into their apartment. Cop pulls them over because they're in the alleyway, stops them. Like, you don't really have probable cause for that. I've seen all this crazy shit. Long story short, they find a gun in the car, and the gun's not loaded, and then they arrest them for that, and they get a gun. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And I've had those conversations with cops. I'm like, I don't agree with what you're doing. And I've told them that up front, and they're just like, well, I don't care. I've seen both sides of it. So I think that what you said is I agree with it. But I've seen it go crazy in California, but, and for us, it's different. If we see a gun in the car, immediately gun, let me see your fucking hands, put them out the window, all that type of stuff. Oh, I think California teaches guns totally different than everywhere else.
Yeah. And that's why I tell people, choose the state you live in wisely. I understand it's not, and that's why I posed it the way I did. I said, this is my opinion on it, because I'm not going to say I'm an extreme constitutionalist where I'm like, it has to be this way. This is exactly what this says. I feel like they made the Constitution intentionally vague in some places because they knew that things were going to evolve and change and all that stuff. So I don't think you can be completely black and white about it. But
Agreed.
When they made the Second Amendment, and I think this is where we all can agree, it was for us, against us.
The Second Amendment protects the First.
Right. And it was made to keep us in check as the government. I hate to tell you cops out there, don't look at yourselves like that, where you just think it's like a federal thing. You're part of that, whether you want to admit it or not. If you're a city cop, if you're a whatever, a park ranger, you are a part of the system that the Second Amendment was made to protect against.
Right.
And so when you go up on a simple traffic stop and you take somebody's firearm from them, that to me is the most grossly negligent thing against the Constitution that we can have, because you're the system taking their firearm from them for no reason other than fishing and curiosity. And I don't like that. And then the other part is the liability. So I didn't show when I'm making my rant or my reaction video, whatever you want to call it. As I'm talking, one of the things that I bring up is the Florida incident where the female cop, it's the same thing. Simple traffic stop. The guy tells him he's armed. He's a licensed carrier. And they ask him, hey, do you mind if we get your firearm off if you step out? And all that. The guy's like, yeah, sure. Go ahead. As the female officer starts taking the gun out, she pops a round off in his leg and shoots the dude.
I know. I remember that one.
And I'm like, why are we taking his gun? Why are we making an extra step and taking an extra risk liability? People have all sorts of different guns. I'm only trained in a few. I don't know them all. How many times have you guys run across a gun where you're like, I don't know how to clear this thing?
Yeah, you don't clear it.
Yeah, I just don't touch it.
You know?
Yeah. So that's a whole other part to this. I'm just like, we're taking extra steps. We're doing extra. But in Texas, and this is the difference, California runs things a lot different. Yeah. New York runs things very similar to how California does. Illinois does too.
It's a shame.
But
it's a shame.
When we're discussing the People's Republic of California, or we are discussing the Ninth Circus Court of Appeals, the most overturned federal district court in the land that happens to govern California, right? The Ninth Circus is overturned by the Supremes, probably 75 at a rate of about 65 to 75%. So the federal district court of appeals that governs California makes decisions that ultimately, when they go to the Supreme Court, get overturned. The Supreme Court goes, no, this is stupid, right? So when we look at the People's Republic of California and you look at the police officers there, sometimes it is the fact that that's where they're living. That's the state they chose to live in. That's the state they chose to be a police officer in. And those are the laws and the things that they have to comply with and have to do. But that discretion part is so important, right?
Mhm.
That discretion part and that heart for what we do and for your fellow man and for the Constitution, and to say that, this person right here is a human being and an individual. And despite the fact that I'm a cop and I'm here to protect them and keep them safe just as much as I'm here to spank them if they get out of line.
Yeah. Mr. Bill Foltz said, I think Tom and I are related.
All right. We're cousins. There you go. That's
He
there.
said,
Do it.
Tom, let's be kissing cousins.
I'm in. I'm hard on
Nice.
people though. We established that early. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I'm hard on people.
Especially beards, apparently. So,
Well,
I
I love you to death, remember?
right. Oh shit. But yeah, that particular video, it caused a stink. That one got a lot of engagement. So I wanted to kind of clarify and go down that rabbit hole a little bit and let people know what my full stance is and where I'm coming from. Because like I said, there were cops on there that were so ate up in their emotions about it. They were calling out my street credibility. That I must not have ever been a real cop. And I just started laughing. I'm like, listen, the dick measuring thing, I don't care. Like, I am not hard to figure out. Go Google my name. It's not hard to figure out my history. Like, banning, and again, and this is the other thing. I was like, all the people that they're on the panel with me, they're from around the nation. You think they're going to back me up if they didn't also know? Like, it's really not that hard. So, the dick measuring stuff, guys, like anybody that starts calling out somebody's street cred, I'm automatically thinking that you don't have the street cred you think you have. Because the guys that do it don't have to do it. Like Chuck just has to say, I worked for LAPD.
Right.
That's literally all he had to say.
Los Angeles.
Like,
Eric, my father told me not to go there. When I went, Dad, I'm going to go to the police academy. He goes, okay, God, anywhere but LAPD.
Yeah.
And I said, but you work there, and I love that department. And he goes, it's not the same department. That grand old lady is dead. Right? He was very honest about it, right? And so maybe this is a good segue into, because I said earlier we could talk about why it's called the Warlocker Show. It used to be War Stories Official Podcast, and then people wanted a second show, and so we did a live show, and that was the locker room. And what we said was, okay, War Stories is where we tell stories, and the locker room is where we talk shit, right? So we tell stories and have the stories, and people share them, and we talk about them seriously, kind of. And then in the locker room, people are like, current events, right? So this is this thing, right? What's going on? Where are the clips? What's happening out there? And it doesn't have to be law enforcement related. We talk about stupid celebrity shit. We talk about, whatever. But Chuck, the importance of Matt's presence on our show and Marco's presence on our show cannot be understated, because, Matt has been to prison. Matt was a Navy vet. He came out of the Navy. He did something really effing stupid over a girl and went to prison. I didn't get to talk. I've known him since I was 14. There was about a 2.5 year period where he called me up. I said, hey, it's been like 3 years since we talked. He goes, it's been about 2.5 years exactly. And I said, how do you know that? And he goes, well, because I just got out of a 2.5 year stint in prison.
And you feel like an asshole. You're like, oh, damn. I didn't know.
No, he had moved to another state. Anyway, long story short, but we've been friends since we were children. Marco's the drummer in my band when I was 15 years old. Matt was the bass player in my band. Like, we've known each other forever. They've known Chuck forever now. They're the voice of everyone else.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what keeps you balanced.
Yeah. Marco is the everyman. Marco's the tattoo artist who plays drums and goes, Mira, boys, I found this video. Is this cop fucked up or is this good? Is this normal? Like, should we please explain it to me? Because I don't understand. And then Matt's the guy who goes, I've been on the other side of it, man. Fuck, blah, blah. So none of that's that. Keep friends outside of law enforcement. Those friends outside of law enforcement go, motherfucker, I knew you when you stole a pack of gum. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Badge 502. Also, guys, if you ever want Badge 502 on your show, I can get him on there. He's at work right now, so he can't really say too much. So, hey, Badge 502, Anthony Christian, I am volunteering your services for the Warlocker Show.
I appreciate it.
But please, everybody out there, make sure you go check out Badge 502 on just about every platform there is. He's my buddy. He's a dispatcher. He's EMS, and he's a funny motherfucker.
Nice.
And he's got a new baby, even though he's 59 years old.
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
You made bad decisions too.
Chuck,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is you, dude. This is where you're headed. I'm just
He's gonna get on here. I am not 59. He's not that old. Just fuck with him. But yeah, he's a really, really just he's a good soul. He's like a Banning, just a good soul. Even though Banning's been pretty quiet tonight.
I want
Oh,
Banning
he's
to.
cool.
I want Banning to read a children's book, narrate it,
I know.
so I
right?
can let my kids listen to it. He has such this big, like, soulful voice.
I know the exact right book for it too.
Oh,
Banning,
wow.
would you read would you read and record Go the Fuck to Sleep?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
That would be good. Now, guys, AI has gotten so good that I've just rendered from all the podcasts we've done, I've rendered my own thing. 50 Shades of Grey. I just did it in Banning's voice. So my wife actually likes going to bed with me now. So it's awesome. Shout out to Ario. Ario dropped another $5 in the super chat there, but he said, take it, run it, give it back disassembled, all rounds removed from the mag. That is standard practice for a lot of the people that go out there and take guns off of people to run it.
I would love for them to tell me why. What's the justification? Are you just being a dick?
Yep. And I'm not gonna lie, I've seen it happen.
I don't like it. Me too.
I'm not a fan of it. It wasn't me taking it apart, but I'm also not going to tell another person how to run their call. If it's consensual or whatever it is, so be it.
And he sounds like Eeyore, if he's not clinically depressed, is the comment of the show.
Oh, bother.
Okay, Mr.
Going on my fast
may
again.
actually be related. We may actually.
So let me tell you about Mr. Billfold a little bit. He hated us when we first started. I won't say he hated, but he really did not like us. And I don't want to say he trolled, but he did not let up. He was unrelenting on us. And I just, I'm me. I just was being me. And
Hearts and minds, baby.
Eventually got him to come around a little bit. We got him to come around so much, we let him debate with Von Kleem, the force science expert, on the show about qualified immunity. And it was fucking epic. Because I know you don't know him, but if you were to ever see him, he looks like he should have been a professional wrestler in the late 80s, early 90s.
Well, so is his profile pic, if it's that bald with the beard and everything,
Yes.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So it just, he's awesome. I talk to him now. We text I text him almost daily. Hey man, what do you think about, like, this is what I love about this show. And it's one of the things that's helped me improve my own policing is I'm outside of that fishbowl. I'm outside of that police fishbowl. And these guys here are constantly keeping me in check and improving the way I police, improving the way that I implement everything. So
That's the key right there.
there it is. He's got a dinger waiting for this. Yeah, Wade, Mr. B is epic. That's true. Very true.
Well, hey, you're welcome to come on our show anytime.
Yeah.
You're welcome to watch our show anytime.
Badge 502. Yeah, absolutely. Kingslayer updated his membership. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you very much. Kingslayer is another one. Me and him, we've gone at it in arguments on stuff. It's kind of the funny thing about the people that really invest in our community on here is we just go at it. Not like disrespectfully, just, normal. No, fuck you. You're an idiot like this. But that sounds disrespectful if we don't know each other. So a lot of good stuff. Oh, Tim finally jumped on tonight. Another one of our awesome mods. What's up, Tim?
Yeah, Tim.
Tim also helps out a lot with Matt Thornton, Detective Matt Thornton, another guy that you guys should get on your show.
Okay.
Very much into police accountability. He's about to retire here in July. So you'll really get the unfiltered version of him. So I can't wait for that.
Thanks, Freeman Keys. I appreciate it. He says he's won him over. He's going to be watching. So
there you go.
If you want to see me, call it like it is. They're balls and strikes, baby. I'm just going to call balls and strikes. That's it. If you're fucked up, you're fucked up, and you need to know it, and you need to hear about it. Doesn't mean we have to be a dick about it. That's the other thing too. Delivery, right? The art of delivery, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, you can say whatever you want as long. What's that? The Venn diagram of good, fast, and cheap. Everybody, if you had a grandfather worth of shit, the Venn diagram for good, fast, and cheap, right?
Yep.
Same Venn diagram only it's you have to have 2 of these 3, right? Same thing. You don't have 2, but you have to have 2. It should be true, helpful, and kind. So you pick 2 of those, and if it's at least 2 of those, you can say it, right? It could be true and helpful, even if it doesn't seem very kind. But that's the sometimes people need to hear the hard truths.
Yep.
But if something is kind and helpful, it doesn't necessarily have to be very true. Honey, you look great. I know we're running late. We have to get out of the house. You look fantastic. I love that outfit on you. Did you have you lost weight? Right? None of that's true, but
it's kind and it might be helpful.
kind, and it got us out of the house, right?
Yeah.
So cops get to do the same thing, man. Just because you put on their uniform didn't mean you take your emotions and your personality out of it, or maybe some of them don't have fucking personalities. I don't know.
Mr. Billfold said, Eric and Banning helped me focus the energy on helping build this community as opposed to dissolve into those ACAB psychos.
Thank you, Eric,
like that,
because that's what you need, right? If everybody turns into ACAB, or the world is fucking nothing but assholes and dipshits and arrest them all, then we're fucking, what's a Gandhi, or an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, right? That's the same idea.
Yeah. GQVN4FN, I don't even know what that means, said, why is it that pigs don't remember the oath they took? I think that's what makes them pigs.
Insult? Is he trying to insult?
They're
He
animals.
Could be.
They can't
Could
read.
be.
I don't
But-
really care. You call me a pig. That's fine.
But
I'll
I
eat
think,
bacon and I'll go, is this cannibalism?
Oh, I have a just because it reminded me. There's a guy at work. He's a good dude. And he fucking hates cops. Like, he hates cops, and we couldn't be the best of friends, right, at work, and to the point where we've hang out outside of work and all this other stuff. Great dude, hates cops, talks shit about cops. So I talk shit right back to him, right? And he always talks about, look, it's not that I don't like cops. He's like, I don't like those lazy motherfuckers that are sitting over there waiting behind a freaking dumpster or whatever with their speed gun to catch me going 5 miles over when I'm trying to get to fucking work. And, when they could be going out and catching the criminals and all these different things. And I try to tell them, like, well, maybe there's a hot spot in the area that they're trying to get to slow down. I understand you don't like being pulled over. Maybe don't talk shit to them next time they pull you over. He's like, no, but they need to know. I'm like, that's probably why you got the ticket. I mean, maybe if they give you some, because I know a lot of cops that, we used to preach this shit all the time. You're not giving tickets to everybody. You're educating them. You're giving them warnings. You're giving them written warnings. It's better, like the lady crossing the street, carrying her groceries, going to the Lavenderia with her clothes and stuff like that. And you're going to give her a jaywalking ticket? No, you're going to be like, hey, ma'am, let's go over here. Let me help you with your stuff. Let me get you across the street safely. Hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should go over here next time. It's very dangerous to do that, and use it as education. And I loved him so much, man. He's such a good dude, to the point where I did an AI picture of me in uniform as a fucking pig, arresting him in his clothing. Like, he wears his stuff outside of work, UFC hat, DC shoes, made him real big, made everything real big, real funny, for a hot sauce branding that I told him I'm going to make a hot sauce specifically for him. And when I go to sell them, I'm going to put that artwork up, because it's him ribbing me and me ribbing him right back, because it's the cops arresting him. And every time I see some crazy shit, I always take photos and tell him, or send him the crazy stuff that cops are doing. And he gets so pissed, but I love it.
what are you going to, what's the hot sauce going to be called?
It's going to be
Pig sauce.
Well, right now he named it. It's the M&B sauce for his first name, and the name that, a nickname that was given to me in law enforcement.
Oh, man.
So he named it, and I was like, oh, we got to come up with something better. But he wanted M&B sauce, and I was like, whatever, dude. That's funny,
Subliminal.
Yeah. What's your opinion on foot in the door? What, Chuck, you want to shoot? Well, I was going to, Chuck, take this one, because I have some thoughts on some of all of that, but go ahead.
Well, it's shout out to Kingslayer for dropping $2 in the super chat, and asking specifically to our boys, our guests here tonight, asking, what's Warlocker's opinion on foot in the door?
Chuck?
Can you elaborate on foot in the door? I've never heard that.
Well, what he's going to do is cops show up to your house, knock, 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 knock. Hey, the music's too loud. You guys, what the fuck are you doing? You got to turn it down. And the guy says, fuck you, pig. He goes to shut the door, and the cop shoves his foot in the door. That
No.
is what he's referring
No.
to.
No, if you don't
No.
have probable cause to enter a fucking home and you're just door knocking
No.
and you're trying to force your way into that home and you get into a shooting, tactics leading up are going to be bad. And I try to remember that stuff every single time I'd go on a call. You know, you're not going to, you know, put yourself into a bad position, because if you force something bad to happen, like a use of force, can be out of policy. You force a shooting, it's going to be out of policy.
Mhm.
If you force a categorical one use of force,
Yeah,
which
no.
is up into including a shooting, but it could be, you know, maiming that person seriously where it's a big investigation. I mean, you're going to be the one at fault. I mean, you can't have contempt of cop. Right.
Is Banning muted? Did he get himself in the penalty box? He's having
No,
connection issues and he
Yeah.
limits himself.
Yeah, my connection is so bad tonight, guys. I'm trying to get it better.
He's self-policing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, we got two amazing guests, and I'm trying to let them have the floor. So we'd love to hear everybody's opinions.
Too kind.
Nice. Okay, Tom, you're up. What do you think about foot in the door?
Well, absolutely not. Get your fucking foot out the door.
I
It's
mean,
their door. Let him shut it.
I'm really
There's other ways.
glad. I'm really glad that you guys said this, and this is why. And I'll let you talk. I'm sorry,
Good.
but they've heard us talk about. This is one of the things we've talked about before. It's like this has been the training that I had. Like that's a no go. You don't put your foot in the door.
Yeah.
This is the training Banning's had. But we're both in the same state. We're both in Texas. Y'all not. You're in a different state, and this isn't something that we talked about previously.
Mhm.
So this goes more into how your personality and your morals as a cop come into play in your training, that these guys are going to get to hear, that I like to see, because we didn't talk about this prior. No one knew Kingslayer was going to throw that question, and we just dropped it on you guys in the middle of nothing, and you nailed it the same exact way that we would say it.
Fuck
So
off. You
that,
get your foot out of there.
yeah,
It's not your
so
door.
I like that. All right, as you were, Tom.
Oh, I was just so. I guess like it's kind of that whole thing about, can you do it the right way, right? If you can't do it the right way, then you're just as bad as they are, right? You know, if you're breaking the rules to enforce the rules, then you're useless. You're just as bad, right? So do it the right way, or don't do it at all. Get the hell out of the profession and stop giving us a bad name. To which I then ask you guys, how do you guys feel about IA?
What do you mean? Like, how do I feel about it?
How do you feel about cops when they're like, oh, fucking IA, rat squad, IA is this, IA is that? How do you guys feel about IA?
I tell a lot of people this. I don't really understand IA. I haven't really had to be a part of it. I've never, I mean, they have questioned me about some other incidences and stuff, or they've called me and let me know, hey, you were investigating, just to let you know your body cam cleared you. And I was like, oh shit, like that's
Cool,
crazy. I
man.
didn't even know I was under investigation. So,
Right.
but other than that, I don't, it's a kind of a mystery. It's not a job I want to do.
Right.
So it doesn't interest me. So I just really don't know much about them.
But see, I go the opposite. So now, again, I have a different perspective. My father worked IA at LAPD. So
Oh
you
shit.
want to talk about, there were some guys that would take wrist rockets and shoot ball bearings at windows in Hollywood. And they'd shoot these electronic stores with these ball bearings to set off the burglar alarms. They'd go drive around the corner. They'd wait for the burglar alarm to go off. They'd jump the call. They'd drive back to the store. They'd make entry. They'd steal a bunch of shit and put it in the back of the patrol car. And then when the responsible got there, they took the crime report.
It was the cops doing it?
Yeah, it was a massive
Holy
case in LA
shit.
history.
Right?
Yeah.
And my dad worked that case. There was Ford and Von Velas. They were running murder for hire and credit card fraud.
It
And
was
my
massive.
dad
It
put
was
those guys in prison, right?
Wow.
I'm kind of curious to know Banning's take on IA, since he's the top cop, you know, like top you can get at the food chain in law enforcement. So I'd be really curious to think his idea on it.
I believe IA is a needed. A lot of people are going to call it an evil, but I believe it's needed. But you have to have a properly trained IAD or IA division for it to be effective. If you've got and I've seen both sides of the house at a couple different departments, to where you've got guys that are consistently going through body cameras, not to give any accolades out of, policy violation. And that policy violation can be that department wears basket weave and his shit's not polished that day, and he's going to take the
That's stupid
audacity to
shit.
skip the sergeant,
Right.
pull them in, and pull a professionalism policy violation out.
Right.
You know, I don't believe there's a need for that. That needs to be checked on that officer squad. And then, you know, if they have a question with that, they can go after the corporal or sergeant and say, hey man, why is one of your guys look like Schmuckatelli out there? He looks like a piece of shit. Let's get him squared away. You
Yeah.
know, but then there's other, good IAs out there that where they receive a complaint, kind of like what sounds like what Eric went through, and they're like, okay, we're gonna look into this, and they pull a number, they document why they're pulling the body camera, they look at it, it is completely not anything of what the complaint is, and then they can clear it, and then they do a courtesy call. Hey, FYI, you were called in on. Here's what it is. We're not even going to bring you in. I just want to let you know you're cleared on this service number for a complaint of this, but you have nothing to worry about. But let me go into that real quick, because this is something that I get this question all the time. How do I handle sergeants? And this is coming from slick sleeved officers that say, hey, I need you to swing by the PD after you go to this call because we need to talk. And this officer's going to a priority call, and now he's got that in the back of his head.
Mhm.
And he's running scenarios through of all the calls that he's went to for the past 2 weeks while he's going to go deal with citizens on possibly their worst day. And now law enforcement's getting called, and you have this officer now struggling mentally of what's going on in there. We need to get away from that. You can, hey, quick, send them an MDT message. Send them a text. Hey, no big deal. Wanted to talk to you about a fight call that you were at 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Just want to talk about it. Don't let it cloud your judgment, or wait for that officer to clear the call and say, hey man, are you clear for a phone call? And let them know immediately what it is, instead of letting that fester in their head
Mhm.
as
Oh, yeah,
they're
'cause
out
will
there
nothing is
trying.
not overthink.
Yeah. And it's, but no, IAD is it's necessary, especially in the larger departments, because we do have to have
Agreed.
checks and balance. There's a lot of people out there to tell you, hey, this needs to be an organization that's not even a part of the police department,
Mhm.
that are not sworn and this and that. No, I believe you need to have that IAD in there, somebody with that law enforcement knowledge, but they've got to be the right person. And that's the big thing. You've got to have the right or people,
Mhm.
depending on the
Mhm.
size of the agency. Hopefully that answers your question a little bit, Chuck.
100%, man. It nailed right on the head. I just wanted to see if your thoughts align with mine, and I think it's the same. I think it's necessary evil. I've seen it
I don't think it's
being ran.
evil. If it's
Yeah.
done right, it's not evil.
Well, I've
Right.
seen
It's
it be
just as
good
important to
in-
protect to exonerate the innocent as convict the guilty. That
Yep.
Right.
That's supposed to be our ethos, right?
Sure,
Supposed to be.
when
It
it's
is just as
utilized,
important to exonerate as to convict.
right, but when it's utilized poorly in certain agencies, you can have it ran really well under certain people, and then other people who
Yep.
listen to someone else get told to do certain things to certain officers under investigation to try to make it go a certain way because a certain individual. I've seen shit like that happen at the same time, and I have a friend who was in IA. She promoted into IA, got an IA, shortly came out. I knew some people who were being investigated. She talked to me and she's like, this is bullshit. This is what's going on. This is completely being ran. She's like, I got a promotion to go there. I'm coming back out. I came back to the division that she came from, and she retired because of how poorly it was being ran, and they wouldn't listen to her, and she felt uncomfortable what was going on, and she spoke out, and she's like, I don't want to get retaliated against. I'm
Right.
not going to do it. And I've seen that.
Yeah.
So I think it can be good and bad. I think it's necessary evil, but it has to be ran the proper way.
And,
Yeah.
and that also goes with, and not to hijack it, Eric, but
you're
it goes with promoting people that have no business being promoted because they're up
Yes.
against a civil service bylaws that they can't fire somebody for just being a POS. And they're like, you know what? We're going to let you take a test, and we're going to encourage you to promote, because maybe if we get you off the street and to another division, you're no longer a problem. I have
Mhm.
Yeah,
major
and
recognition.
now you're getting into where I was just going to take this, because Big C360 just asked, if you're afraid of IA, you're probably a bad cop. And although I can agree to that to an extent, I don't think it's that mutually exclusive. And why do I think that? And even Freeman Keys called me out. He goes, explain why a good officer would be afraid of IA. Serious question. Here's why. Politics.
Mhm.
There are times when you are the target of politics and you become this cannon fodder for whatever political agenda either the department's doing, a chief specifically is doing, somebody maybe an IA is doing. Those things exist. Just like to the extent that Tom was just talking about cops literally setting up their own criminal acts. If cops are willing to go that far, do you think it's that far out of the realm to think that IA in some places or other people in higher up positions won't put cases on other officers to get the headache out of the way, or whatever personal agenda there is because they're fucking that guy's wife, whatever.
Right.
Those things exist. So
100%.
when what I'm trying to get at is even me, if I find out I'm under IA investigation, I think I'm a good cop, but my butthole is going to be so puckered. I'm going to be like, what the fuck am I getting investigated for? I'm going to be scared.
I got railroaded.
100%. I'm going to be stressed the fuck out. And that's why our IA doesn't tell anybody they're investigating them until it's over with. I think because they want them to work normally and not act a fool and be all stressed out. I'd throw up. I'd be like, what the fuck am I investigating for? Shit. Did I do something dumb on the podcast and didn't realize? That's going to be my first thought.
Well,
Mhm.
Can I ask you this? Do you think integrity stings are a good idea on departments?
Oh, like where they drop, there's $100 bill sitting in the back of a patrol car and stuff like that.
Yeah, to see what happens, to see
Yeah.
if you book it, to see if you steal it, to see you.
If young officer me, I'd be like, this is bullshit. We did all this, but older officer me, I'm just like, I'm not going to do anything with it. So I don't give a fuck. Do it.
Well, that's exactly it. I was always told if there's a piece of equipment lying around in the locker room, it's going to be gone. But if there's a 50-cent piece sitting on the floor, nobody's going to touch it. So I hate it.
However, if you leave your Benchmade knife laying somewhere, that
Correct.
motherfucker is not going to
I've
be
had
there.
my
Gone.
I've had my Danners stolen twice.
Oh, your boots got taken?
Fucking twice. The first time they were molded to my feet. I've been
Gross.
wearing them forever. Gross, nasty. You had heel cups. You could see my heels on the outside of my boots, and someone ganked them.
So yes, I'll just say to Big C, you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's more nuanced than just that. I think it goes a little, I think it's a little deeper.
Yeah. And also, I mean, think about this. Cops are going to be like this as long as we have to hire them from the human race.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In any job. So
Right. Just get rid of them when they are terrible. That's what really needs to happen.
Yeah. Agreed. Mr. Billfold dropped
Understanding that subtlety, right?
Yeah, Mr. Billfold dropped $2 in the super chat saying, Chuck and Tom, thanks for joining us this evening. So
Glad to be here.
I love it that our guys are loving you guys. So that's really cool. Because we've had guests they absolutely don't like and they let them fucking know. Hey, it is what it is. I like my audience. I like our community and they're very honest. So I'll give them that. There was this guy's new, and this is kind of how I try to win people over. It doesn't always work. But you guys have seen, I don't recognize this guy. He's already dropped several. He's not pro cop tonight. But he said bullshit. And this was kind of, I think, when Chuck was talking about hiding behind a dumpster and running radar. Cops are used to generate revenue for the county, city, township. Yeah. Stop lying. So GQ, I'm going to give you some credit. Yes, there are departments that do that. 100%. And the departments, when you're rolling through their city, you're like, fuck, we got to slow down because these guys hammer everybody. Yep. I live in Arlington, so it's not where I work, but it's where I live. There is two little cities, Pantego and Dalworthington Garden. And I think combined, they make more money in tickets than Arlington combined. Like or alone, not combined. Like you just don't speed through there. My wife's gotten 2 tickets from them. In school zones. And she's like, I was going like 3 over. Like it was,
I don't imagine in Texas, does the revenue go to the city?
Well, and that's the thing. And this is another thing.
It goes to the state. We don't see a dime of it.
And that's the point that I was going to bring up to GQ is like, I don't see that. Why would I work hard for their tickets? Now, where I will also give him credit, and that I think this is the honesty, integrity check, is that, oh, sorry. Let me turn that back off. Shit. I'm trying to look at the chat. I'm sorry. There we go. Here's another way they control officers with tickets is if you work for the traffic division. What do you get to ride when you're in the traffic division? Motorcycles or the fastest cars on the department. It's either going to be some sort of Camaro, Mustang, what are they? Tesla? I don't know. Whatever, Dodge Charger, whatever other fast car you can think of. If you work for the traffic unit, that's what you get to ride. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Your evaluations are going to show based on productivity. Well, what is productivity? Mm-hmm. I can't give you a quota, but if I see you're not writing tickets, well, your evaluation may not be so high. But guess what? There's 40 other officers lined up that would love to ride a motorcycle for a living. Yeah. So we're going to give them a shot at it because you don't really seem to be working that hard. You don't really seem to care. And the unit itself gets grant money from the state to go out and do these DWI checkpoints or to do these ticket enforcement places for bad areas. Now, on paper, that looks great because that's probably what the community wants in those areas. So that's where the government grant money comes from. But it all comes together. So GQ, you're right in a way.
Now, I want to ask you guys a genuine question, because this is something. I mean, forget like when it came to New York NYPD running an entire campaign of law enforcement tactics that was unconstitutional, and I heard about it. I was like, wait, stop and frisk? What is this? And like, yeah, NYPD, they stop anybody, they frisk them. I'm like, that's patently unconstitutional. How do we not? How does a department say this is what we're doing, and nobody goes, hey, you realize we were all taught we can't do that, right? But I digress. You know, you get into these things and you get into the what you're talking about. We had a city. This is my question to you guys. We had a city, not my city, but they wrote muni codes. For those of you who don't know, a municipal code is a city code, not a county or a state, right? So any violation of municipal code has to be prosecuted by that city, and then the punishment and all this stuff has to be brought back into that city, right? So they wrote the vehicle code. They wrote stop sign, red light, speeding. They wrote all of these different violations again and made the fines half of what the vehicle code is, right? And I went on a ride along with my buddy. He's working for this agency, and I watched him talk to somebody and go, you know what? You've been very cooperative. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write you up for the muni code. It's half the cost of the citation if I were to give you the actual vehicle code violation, and it doesn't go against your insurance.
Nice.
And they were like very grateful for that, right?
Yeah.
But
so that means they were
the
able
money
to
is
accept.
still, it
That's
was
a
a
racket.
win-win.
It's a
It was
racket.
a win-win.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? I mean, would you guys, are you cool with that?
I'm not a ticket guy personally.
I hate
at
writing
all.
tickets.
I have.
I'm not.
I
a big
have
ticket
all my
guy.
tickets from in my bag. Still, the books you're supposed to save them.
Yeah.
I always kept them in my bag. That's how little tickets I fucking wrote.
Yeah.
I hate tickets. I would rather publicly humiliate you over the fucking loudspeaker in the middle of traffic,
Yeah.
hold over and yell at you for doing dumb shit and let everybody see, let you be embarrassed, and then say, the next time I see you, I'll write you a ticket.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
the chances are I'm never going to remember that person ever again.
Yeah.
But you know, I hated writing tickets because I would much rather inform you
Get bad guys.
and yeah, I'd rather go look
I'd
for
rather go chase bad guys than fucking
bad
speeders.
guys write tickets. Yeah, I would never do that. I think it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I use it as probable cause, or use it as a
Oh,
probable
yeah.
cause to see who's in the car.
Absolutely.
You know, tinted windows, you know,
Mhm.
speeding, no
Mhm.
left turn, you know, running stop signs, shit like that. If I see it in front of me, but I'm not going and hiding and waiting for it. You know what I mean? I think it's
Right.
ridiculous. I
Yeah.
hate tickets.
And when you're doing
So,
that,
you know,
you're
like
doing it in high crime areas, and you know that you're looking
Yes.
for real bad guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Gang locations.
Yeah, I get that. I didn't. This is buried in the comments. I just didn't want him to think I missed it. But Ario dropped $10 in the super chat, and he said, "Speaking of body cams, Fargo PD just renewed their contract with Axon, and the chief said we have officers that would quit if we stopped using body cams." And I think that is a testament to how far the culture has come. There's still some departments that refuse to get body cams, but not very many.
Mm.
I know Sheriff Grady Judd is one of those that he won't let his guys get body cams. It's fucking insane.
So
Well,
I don't get it.
I got a
was against
question
it from the
on
beginning until they exonerated everybody.
Right. Now body cams are being deemed as racist,
Right.
which is insane. You can't win. So
Banning. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, Chuck, how long have you been out now?
A year.
Okay. So I'm sure you had to deal with the Sandra Bland Act, correct? Was that nationwide or was that just in Texas, Eric?
I've never heard of the name.
I don't know.
Sandra Bland Act. I remember the name, but I don't know that we had the Sandra Bland Act.
Okay. I thought it went into federal, but I could be wrong.
Texas.
It might be Texas.
It's
Okay.
Texas legislative.
So-
So the Sandra Bland Act is this by explicitly outlawing the practice of pretextual stops, as well as outlawing consent searches and raising the burden of proof needed to both stop and search vehicles in Texas.
So what that did for us, and I'm going to knock it all the way down to patrol level. So the guys that are out there doing traffic stops in between calls, or even the traffic unit, if you even back in the days when I worked drug interdiction on the highways, it was you walk up there, You know, it's the officer's discretion if you're going to write a citation or a warning. I'm not a ticket writer a lot, so mine were mostly verbal warnings during that time. And I cut them on their way just so they can get to where they're going. Like, hey, you know, you're going 75 and a 55. Can you please slow down? Hate to see a fatal accident up here. And I was looking for different cues or whatever to take it to another level. And 90% of the time, or even higher, there was no reason to take it. Well, now with that Sandra Bland Act in place, if the police department is properly following what they stated, you're at least giving them a card on how they can complain on you. Here's a number to call. Here's who you need to talk to, etc. Or it's got to be on the warning or the citation for that information on there. And that was based on the Sandra Bland Act. For some reason, I thought that went more than just one state.
No,
I think there multiple states have done things like that. But I don't think there's like a national one or there's a standard one. It's just different versions of it, is my understanding.
yeah,
We have
not,
stuff like that.
not to what
For
I'm
those of you
seeing
who
on the
don't know,
internet.
she got stopped by a trooper, yanked out of her car. It went sideways. She got hooked up for pushing a cop and then went to jail and died. Like,
yeah.
Freaking,
Hey,
what
be
was her
careful.
original charge was lane change or something.
Yeah, people are getting canceled now for making jokes. Did you see the whole roast of Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Oh, with Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah. Oh Lord, they're going after that show now, which is
just
crazy.
Shut up.
Like, don't go to a comedy show expecting.
Swallow a bag of cement and harden up.
Never heard that. That's a good one. I like it.
That's the same goes for our guys out there still putting the uniform on every day. You know, you've got to go out there with like we spoke about earlier. I believe Tom brought it up. Is they're mad at the uniform presence. They're not mad at you personally.
Yeah.
They don't know you.
You got to be a little bit
don't
harder.
know you.
Yep. Okay. Let's jump over to another video. I cannot wait to see your guys' reaction on this one, because this is probably my favorite video I've made in a year at least. This is my favorite one. So I titled it "The Ultimate Karen." For any of my Dragon Ball Z fans, she would be Ultra Karen Instinct. All right, we're gonna hit play.
Did I just discover the ultimate boss, Karen?
Don't act up! You have a permit! If you don't, you cannot sell here! I told you that before! Get a permit! Did you get it? You have a permit? Answer me! Or I'll just call the cops and they will ask you!
Fucking beelines. Fireworks. Wait for it.
Now look, I'm not.
Oh shit! It doesn't get. Not only did she get pissed off about the fireworks, bro, then they start playing the national anthem, and she's still going after him. That is the most ultimate Karen. And I know people are like, "What does this have to do with police?" She was threatening to call the police, and I'm not going to say this is your average 911 caller. I don't believe that to be true, but these are the types of 911 calls we get. And if you were to hear her on the phone, she's going to over embellish everything that you just saw.
Eric, let's blow that up a little bit. Right, since you just showed that, let's say you have a rookie or a young dispatcher taking that 911 call, and then they may be inserting their opinion on top of what she is saying, and then you have a rookie or young officer receiving that call, and the next thing you know, you got a guy getting out with an AR,
right,
approaching the scene because too many opinions. And I have to say that because, damn. We need to stop putting opinions in things and just put the facts down for law enforcement, FD, EMS, whoever is. Don't stop putting your damn opinion in there.
Yeah. Chuck, you have the best reaction. Your laugh made me start laughing. What'd you think, bud?
Dude, that lady is crazy. And yeah, you're right, Banning. I've had that actually happen to us where we get the call, it gets amplified so much because people start putting their opinions in there, or what the caller is saying on the phone is not what's happening because they know how to get the cops there faster. You roll up with ARs, your UPRs, and you're like, what? Are you serious? Comes out of some crazy 415 party. But I've had this happen to me, and I've looked at her or the person who called, and I told them, like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing anything. They're not breaking the law. I'm not the health department. They're in a park. They're celebrating. I'm not doing any of this. Goodbye. This is not a police call, and there's no enforcement to be done. I'm out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that she was saying that it's not a Marine Blood pointed out that it's not a holiday. So like they can't do any of that stuff. Tom, you're being awfully, you got like mean face on. Like, that one
I
got
hate
you.
Karens. I hate Karens so much. I hate them. And then you talk about dispatchers inserting opinions, and you tripped on one of my other freaky buttons.
I think we PTS'd him right there.
Oh my God. It was like,
Yeah.
I used to get mad when you get people call in to go, there's somebody suspicious in the neighborhood, and dispatch would dispatch me to a call, say there's a suspicious person in the neighborhood, and that's it. I'd go, okay, to L1021, and I call station and go, what's suspicious? And they're like, well, the caller said that there's a black guy walking in their neighborhood. Now I get it. Our city didn't have our Hispanic and white were our bigger demographics. Black was a low demographic in our area. But walking while black is not a crime.
Right.
And so what I would get really frustrated about is that why are you sending me to this? You're putting me in a position where I'm going to have to, like, I'd walk and be like, hey, sir, how are you? Fine. Are you out and about? Just hanging out? And yeah, I'm walking to my buddy's house. Cool. See you. Bye.
Yeah.
Because I would, that I was just unable to locate, because that sending us to that, you're putting us in a position that we should never have to be put in.
Yeah. Yeah. The main point that I wanted to bring up with this video is I don't know if they're still doing it in schools. I should really ask my kids, but because they grew up with a dad as a cop, I mean, it's really hard. It's probably going to be harder for them to reference. But what I want to know is, in school, are we teaching kids these days? When do we call firefighters? What do we call them for? What are all the things that they do? What do we do with EMS? When do we know that we need medical versus a firefighter? Or do they do both? Are we teaching them what police officers' hats are? What hats do they wear? When do we call them? And then when is it appropriate to reach out for other services before we start reaching out to police? So that's kind of the point that I was trying to drive home with that. And a lot of mixed comments out there. And some people are like, they should be training that stuff in schools. Some of them think they don't. And then again, like I said, this is a new voice on here. And I kind of want him to see that we don't shy away just because you're pointing out bad things that cops have done. And GQ said, just remember when cops cowered outside of an elementary school in Texas. Remember that. I won't forget that.
Ever.
I don't know. They still haven't released that full investigation. I can tell you what I do know about it so far. I'm not very happy with the results of what was known and what wasn't known, but I'm waiting for that investigation before I drop a full opinion. And have there been other things like the shooting in Nevada, where I think it was Nevada, where they were shooting down on a concert? There was a cop down the hallway that didn't move in.
You're talking about Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, the Mandalay Bay thing. There was a cop down the hallway with 2 security guards, and he didn't move in.
Yeah, CIA told him not to.
Yeah, and that pissed me. Yeah. I was just going with what you said until I heard what you said. Wait a second.
I gotta grab my tinfoil hat first.
Yeah. So
you have it right there, Chuck.
But
you got to put it on. Okay, so full. Sorry, Eric.
You're good.
For the listeners, whenever we get like this, Chuck has his accessory ready to go, but he's not there.
I don't know. It's in my closet.
He made himself like a Smurf hat out of tinfoil that he puts on. And then we just, we always get into those kinds of things because we love the tinfoil hat conspiracy stuff. And so it's been pretty fun.
Yeah. But the other thing is all the times that officers have stopped active shooters. So yes, GQ, I'm with you. You point out a bad one. There are bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not going to sit there and hide and pretend that there wasn't. I don't know enough about Uvalde to say that it was good or bad. I can tell you so far from what I heard, it wasn't great. I'll concede that. I'm just waiting for that full fucking investigation to come out because I wasn't there. I don't know. But from what I see, it pisses me off too. I'm with you. It pissed me off from what I saw. Mm-hmm. So we can agree. But then you've got like the lone gunman at the outlet mall. that he went in and absolutely stopped an active shooter. Lieutenant, I got it pulled up here. Lieutenant Dan Marcoy.
That one was
Marcoux.
nuts.
Matter of fact, let's show it since you wanted to bring that up. Well, give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull it up on YouTube.
I do have to say, after that shooting in Uvalde happened, and I have a school right down the street from my house where my kids go to school, I am always now worried that something's going to happen there.
Yeah.
And I always have my shit ready to rock. So it's like,
Yep.
it bothered me.
So I'm going to fast forward because I've seen this so many times now. We're not muted. Okay.
Seatbelt. 145. I think we got shots fired at the outlet mall.
Shots fired at the outlet.
I got people running.
Precinct 137.
Get going! Get going! Get moving!
Concern for safety of people. Check. Moving forward.
They're moving further away from me.
Towards danger.
Go! 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 Keep moving!
He's trying to figure out where the sounds are coming from.
Get out of here!
I'm glad he's on foot instead of being in a car. It would have been harder for him to locate.
Yep.
The guy's probably looking for a patrol car, so it was actually a smart move.
3725, we good.
I'm by Polo Rifle Arm moving. Trying to get to him. They're still shooting.
He's trying to conserve energy as he moves forward. Smart move.
Well, as you get closer, you have to slow down.
Yeah, you don't want to get gassed before you get there.
Not to mention, you can only shoot things at a certain speed.
I'm on foot. I need everybody I got. What? Yes!
Now you got the confusion.
What you got?
People trying to tell him where it's at.
Are we on mass shooter? Yeah, we got people coming.
I don't think he's tired. I think it's adrenaline.
145, I believe we got a mass shooter. I got Maxine on the ground. Drop it! Drop it!
Ricky,
I'm passing injured.
Ricky,
I'm moving as fast as I can, trying to get over there.
He's got bodies on the ground. He is trying to move forward still. Guys, it's easy to sit behind a computer and say what you would do. I can even do this. Say that what I would do. I don't fucking know. I've never been put in this type of position. So I'm going to keep going.
Everybody's pointing towards Matthew.
I'm by Tommy Hilfiger. I don't know where he's at. Shot was shot. Actually, still going.
Oh, yeah, he's getting real close.
I want you guys to understand, if you've never been around rifle fire, the actual shock that goes through your body,
The overpressure.
the overpressure alone can shut your system down if you if you've never been around it and you're not acclimated to it. How do I know that? Because the first time I was around rifle fire, learning how to hunt, I was shaking and I couldn't move when my grandfather was firing his rifle. It was a 30-06.
Yeah, and they make a big boom.
Yeah. So
And the walls and
yeah.
Well, this is traffic. Dispatch.
Every military person in the comment section will tell you what I'm saying is not bullshit. Here, turn the safety on and off. He's muscle memory.
One thing I'm disappointed he hasn't given out its location.
Shots fired by police. I got him down.
See, I'm not. Handle business, then get on the radio. If I still think he's moving and I'm not comfortable putting my rifle back down yet, I ain't touching my radio.
No, I meant leading up to this point, he's been making progress.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been kind of updating.
Yeah, the last place he said was Tommy or Fila or something like
right,
that.
and he's passed a couple places. That's the only thing. Like my biggest critique was just a little more information.
Yeah.
But I get it. That's really hard. That's
Tunnel
hard
vision.
to do.
A little bit of that.
Yep. So and the rest of this guy it's pretty much done. He shoots and then the guy's down.
Yeah.
And then it's just a lot of waiting around, so we can stop sharing that.
Please, that's nitpicking, you guys. That's nitpicking. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. That's how we debrief things. We nitpick it, so we go, okay, something to consider for next time.
Yeah. But my point being to GQ is that yes, there are instances of bad encounters, but there's a lot of great stuff that you don't see. And look how many people in the comments even said, I've never seen this one before. Oh, I don't know this one. Like it happens. You just don't know. But when it's bad, you all fucking know. So
if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah. And you said he's walking towards an active shooter. Yeah, he was. He was gassed. Everybody could hear it. Anybody that's been gassed knows. Yep. And that's gassed on top of adrenaline. That's a whole different level. I guarantee if you were to take his hands off that gun, they would have been like this, just jittering all over the place. So the fact that he was able to hit the dude and stay steady enough is a testament. That's really good. And to keep moving forward in the face of that loud, audible bang that rocks you to your core. I promise you, it rocks you to your core. It's very hard to do.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
And you know, Banning, Chuck, both Marine. Tom, did you do service?
No.
Okay.
I was busy playing in punk rock bands.
Fair enough. So, you know, I'm Air Force, so I'm pseudo military. So I'm not going to pretend that I had the hard training. There you go. Like the Marine Corps had.
I mean, you really have to figure out how to use the lever on the chair to go up and down. So you don't get hurt.
And if you pinch your fingers, that's 100% disabled for Air Force. So
exactly.
Yeah, you gotta know. Sorry, I'm just looking over at the comments here. Somebody said 100% Kingslayer. I don't know what he said. Oh, he said plus adrenaline can psych you out, causing you to gas out. Yes. And that's kind of the point that I was getting at. Is like you may not actually be. You could be a guy like me. I can swim an hour. I just swam an hour today. You can swim, but if adrenaline hits me, I'm good for like 2 minutes.
Yep.
Perfect example, man. Got into my shooting. 2 weeks later, I come back, have the last meeting with the shrink. Shrink clears me after another week of being back for field duty. I go out back in the field, night one, and I'm probably a couple hours in. Get involved in a pursuit of gangsters and a stolen G-Ride, or a stolen G-Ride, and then we go to these what you would call like a project. It's a shitty apartment building. Everyone unasses. You have bodies going everywhere. Gang units going this way. Their supervisor's running over here by himself. So I see, okay, all the partners are going over here. Me and my partner pop in last, and we take off with the supervisor. Get this female. She ran underneath a vehicle. We pull her out. She's reaching. My partner slams her on the back with his boot. And is like, "Don't fucking move. Do not keep reaching. You will be shot." Type of stuff. And I'm like, do not keep moving your hand forward. Do not keep reaching. Slowly bring your hands out. And, luckily she didn't have anything, but I got so close and I was like, oh my God, this is fucking rough. And my hand was visibly shaking. My body was having tremors, not because I was afraid, but because I was going back to that situation where adrenaline was spiking through my body because I thought I was going to get into another fucking officer involved shooting, day one being back. And I'm like, God dang it.
Yeah.
And it's rough. You can function while you do it because you train it, but it does cause, speaking louder, yelling in the microphone. You have to learn to bring it down. And the more you're exposed to it, the better you are at it and handling those situations, just like any other training. But it can definitely make you tired.
Yeah. Tim, I'm laughing at what Tim said, but I'm laughing because I was the same way. He goes, sort of like I am with women, Eric. Being, it's been me and my wife, but when we first started, when I first started getting it, I would shake. I wasn't scared. It was just adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just I could uncontrollably. Like I was like, I don't know what's going on. You got your own fucking, rumble bed going on. You're lucky.
She was like, "Ooh, this is nice."
Yeah, right. Like I couldn't control it. It was just so
Magic
exciting.
fingers.
Yeah. Give Ario a shout out. He dropped $5 in the super chat and he said, "Go to an indoor range and try shooting a 223. It is very shocking."
Ariel, I have
100%.
long said that men who take 223s to an indoor range also pee sitting down.
Oh, damn. Well, where I am at, we have our indoor range for
your department.
Yeah.
That's fine
Oh,
because
yeah.
you have an indoor range for your department.
Nice.
Right. But if you have to go shoot an AR at an indoor range as a hobbyist, if
Right.
that's your choice, if you select that as the place to go shoot a 223, you probably pee sitting.
So GQ said, he goes, I'm 101st Airborne Division. So I dropped in the comments because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get to it in time. But I said, you're starting to lose credibility with me. If you were 101st Airborne, then you should 100% understand what this officer's going through. Not because he's a cop, because he's going into combat. It's literally what he's going to do. And if you understand combat at all, now I've been in combat, not for the military, but in police. I didn't get to shoot, but I was being shot at several times, several different occasions. And I can tell you exactly what I went through. Now, does that mean everybody goes through that? No, some people are just fucking born for it. I wasn't. I had to learn. I had to train through it. I wasn't born for that.
Right.
At least I don't think I was. But I can do more than a lot of people. But there's a lot of people that can do way more than me in a situation like this. So to me, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. If you're 101st, I know what military training goes through just at the basic level. I'm not going to say I know exactly what 101st Airborne go through, although my BFF is a E9 for the Airborne. Eric Paz is his name. Yeah, he's my buddy. So I have people I can refer to. Let's put it that way. So GQ, if that is what you're in, I don't get what you're saying. Because to me, I can't ask a cop to do more than what he just did. Could he do better? Sure. We could always do better.
Right.
But did he do what was right? Yes. Did he do what we need him to do? Yes. Did he do what happened at Uvalde? No. Because he heard the shots, he got there quick, and he made a decision and did it.
He ran far too, by the way.
Yeah, that was a long way.
That was a really long run.
Yeah.
That was like all the way around the fucking mall.
Yeah.
With all of his gear on.
Yeah.
That's like 40 pounds of gear plus a loaded out rifle, and our rifles aren't light.
Right. I'm gonna say he's close to 60 pounds or more going around that. He may be kitted up. We don't know. I doubt it. I doubt he's kitted up, but you don't know. Could be. But yeah, him going that far is a long way, and with the adrenaline. So GQ, that's what I meant by credibility. Like you're 101st, brother. Like you should kind of understand the position this guy's coming from. I can tell you this too, GQ. Like it doesn't matter how hard people troll on here. I will always just talk to you. I don't succumb to the troll stuff. So I don't think that's what you're doing, but other people may take it that way at first. Craig dropped 10 memberships out there. I appreciate you, Craig. I'm looking through to see who I do know. Lachey has spoke several times on here, so congrats to him. I'm looking through the names. I don't see anybody else in there that talks on here regularly that got one, but I'm gonna go back. I think we hit the nail on the head with all of that. You guys good with that part? Yeah, me too. So okay, and so we got to the Super Karen video. Okay, good. I want to open it back up to you, Chuck and Tom. Is there any topics before we go to any of the body cam review stuff? One of the things that we like to do on here is we'll play a video where us as police officers will watch the video as it's happening
Mhm.
And rather than watch it and just, Monday morning quarterback, we're going to watch it and kind of talk our way through the call and say
Mhm.
how we would have handled the call.
Mhm.
And it kind of shows like, okay, you guys trained out in California. I trained in Michigan and in Texas, but our training may be different, but kind of the same. We all figure out
Sure.
how to kind of get it. So you get the point. But I wanted to leave the floor open. That's kind of how we end things. So I just want to see what if you guys had anything you wanted to talk about.
We've covered a lot. It's law enforcement culture is a big deal to me because it is so toxic. It is sometimes, and I hate that word, but it is, right? It's corrosive. But we do it to ourselves, and it's so stupid, right? We eat our own, right? The very fact that if somebody's struggling, we call them a fucking potato chip, or like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say two things. One, because being a peer support counselor for my agency for a really long time, I believe in mental health and mental health checks and making sure your buddies are good, because we go through some really bad shit. I've lost some friends to mental health, and it's a very passionate topic for me. Check on your buddies. If something's not right, talk to someone. Okay, talk to them. A simple, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Everything good? That might be the thing that saves their life. Friend of mine, not cop, but was about to do something really bad, got a text, it pulled him right out of it, and it saved his life. Right? I wish I had, those talks with some people that I've lost, just to ask them if they're okay and is there anything I can do to help. Talking to your buddies, and if they call you late at night and that's out of character for them, instead of snoozing the call, like, I'll get back to you in the fucking morning, dude. Don't bug me. If that's out of character, answer the phone. You will eat yourself up if that was the call that could have saved that person's life, especially if they leave a voicemail. That's going to haunt you to the rest of your life. And number two, just because you're really good at your job doesn't you mean you're going to be a great leader. And if you do become a leader and have the forward thinking to know that you're going to constantly be learning, and to seek people out as mentors to help you grow as a leader, because you're not going to know everything, and take constructive criticism as a leader. And no comment is too small. The people beneath you sometimes have really good ideas and can propel your career, because they're going to, say something really, really good and impactful, and it can help you. You're a team. You just might be the person in charge of that team, but it's your job to lead them, and lead them by example,
right?
And understand that everyone comes together to create the bigger goal at the end.
Yeah.
Be the cop you would want to have.
Yeah.
Show up. Yeah. Be the cop you would want to treat every single person like it's your mother or your sister or your cousin, right? Just anyway.
Yeah, I say all the time, be the change you want to be. It's corny. And
be the supervisor you wanted to work for.
Yeah. Golden rule. Treat everybody like you'd want to be treated.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Mr. Billfold, I fucking love Tom now. Can we get this Chuck and Tom collab more often? Absolutely, boys. We absolutely can. For sure.
Absolutely.
It doesn't, it's funny too, because we've known, like, Banning's like, yeah, I was on their show not too long ago. You know who they are? It's like, fuck, I was on it a long time ago. We're busy, and we just never really kind of connected after that again. And I was like, I got no problem. I've just been a busy dude. And they dropped a, hey, can you jump on a live tonight? And I said, yeah, I'm free. I can do it. Let's go. And so it made it happen.
Yeah.
Here we are again,
I love it.
rekindled. Everybody tonight, man, this is awesome. Great guest tonight. So I want to at least, I know Tom is short on time, and I want to be respectful of his time. If he has to bounce, guys, that's good. We're still going to do 2 or 3 body cam reviews, because it's just the chat's popping tonight. So I hate cutting it short when the chat's popping.
I'll stay as long as I can.
So you stay as long as you can. I know Chuck is just trying to get alone time with the new baby, so I'll let him use this as an excuse, so his wife has to take care of everything.
Well, I don't know,
I got to, babe. It's for the show. Like, we're trying to grow. This will help us.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's pull this one up, guys. We'll get to our first video. Again, I have not seen any of these videos. Nobody here likely has, because we went to police activity on YouTube. and pulled up their 3 latest videos. So shout out to them. Make sure you go like, subscribe, follow Police Activity on YouTube. They only have 6.89 million subscribers, so
Use your help.
they're probably hurting.
Struggling.
So, but I like to give credit where credit is due. And so we have not seen these videos. If any of us on the panel have seen them, we'll own up to it and we'll kind of bow out. But I have not. So we biggie size this one. I did not read any of the details, and let's go.
Hey, partner. Hey, buddy.
All right. Just still paid this.
Motherfucker.
Oh,
Okay.
that escalated quickly.
Okay. Like normally it doesn't pop off that quick.
Holy
Okay.
fuck.
So we're stopping out with a guy on the roadway.
Mhm.
And we have no indicators on any of this because we can't see shit. But he comes around the corner, being Stabby Stabberson, what would look like a knife, and just started stabbing at the officer. And he did the number one mistake officers do: backpedal.
Mhm.
And now he ended up on his back. So this is why when we tell people to get off the X, what do we do? Chuck, what do you do when you get off the X?
I go at an angle.
At an angle. There we go. So
You'll never outrun a train, but you can step 1 foot to your left and get off the tracks.
Exactly. Thank you. So again, this doesn't mean that I'm a credible street cop, according to some in the comments not too long ago, but I know a little bit. So he didn't get off the X. And one way was blocked, right? His patrol car was in the way. So he could either backpedal or he could.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he could either backpedal or go to the right.
Yeah. But I have a question about where he saw the dude and why he chose that place to park. It was, so I'm very curious about how his parking ended up that way.
Yeah, I feel like he pulled up right next to him, opposed to going way ahead. And again, how would you guys do it? Me personally, I go way ahead, and then I can kind of start walking back to him.
Yeah, way ahead, or I see him, I stop, I get out, I walk. We were always taught, 3 houses down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Get out in front of them, ahead of them, so we're not.
Right. Yeah, I taught the same stuff. Has there been times I've been looking for a murder suspect or attempt murder suspect who's just stabbed a bunch of people and attempted to slice someone's throat, just didn't go through all the way. And he ended up being at my passenger side door, running through an alley just because I couldn't see and it was a blind spot and my partner couldn't see. And I looked to my right and he's right there. And I immediately pop out and draw my gun and he's close. And I said, you take one more step, I'm going to shoot you, type of stuff. But definitely, you got to get off the X, you got to move, but there might be some circumstances where it's going to be right there where, you pull up and they're right to your door. But I think generally pulling up before, and if you do come right there and you're like, oh, he's right there, keep driving past it so that you can have that distance and create time for yourself, regardless if it's forward or backwards. Because distance is going to help you and it's going to create more time to figure out what's going on. It's going to allow you to react faster or at least have the time to react. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the big difference between kind of what you just said, and by the way, Lacey just said that they subscribe to your channel. So
thank you, Lacey.
Worth it tonight, boys. Worth it. Got at least one.
Welcome to our cadre of insane followers.
I appreciate you, Lacey. The difference I see with what yours is you had some information about it being a violent person and you came out accordingly. What I'm going to guess based on my training and experience on this one is I feel like this was just a casual encounter where he's like, there's some guy that they called on because he's walking through yards or he was doing whatever. Yeah. And it was just going to be like, hey buddy, can you please beat feet, not do this? It was a complacency, normal, everyday call.
Right.
And it turned into not an everyday call. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that. Banning, you think the same thing?
No, it's the same exact thing.
Figured. Banning thinks too much like me, and that's the problem. I can't ever get him. Cody Highroller. So Cody is a 1A auditor in my area, and he actually hit me up on an audit one night. Kind of unknowingly, I figured out what he was doing, but it wasn't a big deal. Good dude. He has a lot of engaging conversation, but he said cops need to study formalities Formality is how you present things, how you carry yourself, and how it can affect outcomes, specifically when interacting with people who aren't committing crimes. Agreed, Cody. Agreed. I can't argue that. Okay, so
Hello, sir.
So in this right now, we're stopping over. Guy comes out, stabby, and we're on our back. So it's everything fucking goes now. Everything's in play. If I have throwing stars, they're coming out. Whatever it is.
Right.
I'm doing whatever I do to get some something to defend myself. Likely, he's going to be trying to draw here. He's actually in an advantageous position for a knife. I hope you guys know that. This is actually can be a defensive mechanism. You use your feet to keep the distance. Your legs can take some stabs to allow you to draw your gun and get some shots on target. So I don't think that was his intent, but now that he's here, this can be an advantageous position.
67, 62 Marine. He's signal 55.
26.
Hispanic, male, green shirt. He's running through the woods right now. I believe he's got a knife.
So that officer may not even known that he was being stabbed at. It happened that fast. He may not have known.
Yeah. And we don't know what was in his hand. We just know he's making a stabbing motion.
It looked like I thought I saw a knife.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a comb. You come at me like that, I'm thinking it's a knife.
Yeah. It did look like a
whatever
knife.
it is, it's not friendly.
It is not friendly. No, that's not. He wasn't saying, "Hello, officer. Thank you for stopping up."
Right.
But what did you guys notice with his radio etiquette?
Oh, dude. What I noticed real quick is he switched his gun to his other hand to talk on the radio, which is a big no-no.
Yep.
I saw that happen a couple times. I'm like, what are you doing? That's not good.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think I want to give him credit for, and this is why I don't think he truly knew if that was a knife or not, because he's very calm.
He's very calm.
Considering he just got aggravated assault.
Yeah.
So
he's like in shock or something.
Yeah. What's Brian saying? Eric gives the cop shit for backing up and then says he should have backed up in case he had a knife.
I'm pretty sure he didn't say any of that.
No, I'm giving him shit for backpedaling. I'm saying you should get off the X.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Yes, it's better than doing nothing. It's better than standing there and getting stabbed in the face, but it's not as good as.
But I am saying because he is on his back, that's actually can be an advantageous position in a knife fight because it can allow you to use your feet versus when you're standing up and backpedaling, you don't have much to defend yourself and you can get stabbed in a lot more places. So that's what I'm saying, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Cody said, I am considering recommending more law training and more video review and extensive penal code study for police. Do you guys think this policy should be implemented to extend laws training?
Yes. More training. You'll never get me to say more training is bad.
Yeah. I always think more training is good. You just have to, this is the problem. You have to figure it, that doesn't work across the board. You could go to where my department is at, and they're really strong in certain training, but they're weak in other sides.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if I go to like where Banyan was at, and maybe they're not so good at 1A stuff, but they're really good at tactical training and stuff like that. I don't know. So it's a case by case basis. I don't think that works blanket across the board. You go to LAPD. One thing LAPD is really known for is their knowledge of laws and their policies and all of that. Like they're the professionals. That's one of the things that LAPD is known for throughout law enforcement is like they're nerdy fucking cops. Like they come over where we're at in Texas and they're going to think we're cowboys because we kind of are in the way that we
we've
handle.
gotten to places where I've gotten to see police where I moved to a different state. I'm not in California anymore. I moved to this different state. I saw some police work done. And I was like, you did what? Like just
Right.
where it's just cowboy unsafe or not good, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. And Mr. Bill pulled. He pointed out something good too. He checked his forearm for cuts. Yeah. So that may be why he was like, I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
Brian said training is only good when it doesn't involve the same fucking thing. Goddamn, you fucks don't get it. I don't know what he
We
means.
don't get it? I don't know. I don't know what I don't
Training
get.
is only good when it doesn't involve the same fucking.
In other words, you can't just do the same thing over and over and over and call it training.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Probably shooting at paper, going out of the range, doing this. We've got to get these officers to start moving.
Moving and
Real
shooting.
crazy.
Yeah.
Sim
100%.
stuff, you know.
All of our range days were actually training days. They were not just putting holes in paper targets.
Yep.
Yeah. And just like constitutional training and stuff like that, I think it's best done through scenario training.
Yes.
I don't think it does you any good to just sit there and read the Constitution, say, here's your new case laws. Now go forth and conquer or whatever. Like, I think you need to go through whatever that case law is and create a scenario based on that.
Yeah. Prac cap it.
And then, because these fuckers aren't out there reading case law every day. You know that.
Right.
They're only reading case law when it's being forced down their throat.
Mhm.
Or you're changing it.
Yeah.
Or your name is on it.
All right. So Brian, I think you bring up a good point. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over. It doesn't fucking help. It doesn't help anything. So it just didn't read. When I read it, I didn't read it that way, but I get what you're saying now. So, all right, let's keep going. This officer is doing a good job now.
Come here now.
26 HLV 1033 for now.
Here. I like it.
Parent in unit in the area of 11770 Northwest 11th Place, signal 13 India, signal 55.
Get your hands now.
6762 advising.
That's the
Panic male,
Nick Bush.
green shirt, running through woods with knife.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Background 10 on. 51. 51.
All right. Are you guys going to go in after him and try to find him?
No.
Neither am I.
Where'd this guy go? He like stabbed him, was in a fight, and then just
Disappeared,
poof,
yeah.
Well, he
disappeared.
was wearing a green shirt, so he just went predator mode.
Oh my god.
Just hit the invisi, and you can't see him now. He's tracking you with his thermal. All right. Let's keep going.
2199. 201. 26, 1039.
I'm going to fast forward about a minute because there's nothing going on.
My vest got it.
Still walking around.
26.
Come here now. Put your hands
Oh,
up.
he popped out.
The subject's crossing the road right now. He's got something in his left hand. I can't tell what it is.
Yeah, you got your gun in your left hand.
Yeah.
Lay down on the ground now.
Driving Chuck crazy.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground now. Drop what you got and get on the ground now. He's got a knife. He's got a knife.
I hear someone else. Does he have another officer with him?
Well, they probably showed up.
Okay.
Would you have transitioned? Would you go if you have this much time? Would you have transitioned to your rifle?
If I have
At
one.
the car?
Some of these guys don't have them.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So that's this is another thing, cops out there. Like, if you are just traveling around with a pistol and you're too lazy to go check out the shotgun or the rifle, like you're a detriment to the community, because this guy is not thinking straight.
We interviewed a guy recently on our show. He's a sheriff's deputy in Oklahoma, and it's like 9 deputies for 1,000 square miles or something like that. And we asked him what they issue for rifles and stuff. He's like, they don't. We just get to carry whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So they go out and
Banning,
buy
was it like that for y'all?
Run that by me one more time. Sorry, I was trying to look at the comments.
He said that they where they were out and they had like 9,000 square miles, and only had a few deputies, so they got to carry whatever long rifle they wanted.
in their car.
No, we still had, even though was at an agency that didn't have many rules, which was ridiculous. You still had to carry.
Okay,
There's 2 different rifles that you had to carry, and that was your only choice.
gotcha. GQ actually said something pretty good. He goes, "He'll get hungry. Set the perimeter." I agree. I agree. No need to go in there all. Don't go chasing Rambo up the hill, guys.
No.
It's
Get
not
the
a
dogs.
good- yeah. There you go. Yeah. Well, don't put the dogs in harm's way. They'll come out. I'm a dog lover. I'm sorry. I don't want to put the dogs in there. All right, let's keep going.
Get on the ground now. He's got a knife.
Chuck, you pointed that out. I can't stop looking at it
Come at
now.
me fast. I almost shot him earlier. Get on the ground.
Get on the ground! Get on your stomach! Get on your
Watch that
stomach!
knife.
Get on your stomach!
Watch the knife.
Put your hands behind your back! Hands behind your back!
Don't reach for anything!
All right. One person talking, boys. One person talking.
Command and control.
Correct.
Don't even
I'm gonna kick that knife away.
Move. If you move,
And somebody should have a.
I'll kick the knife away.
I don't care what you grab.
Wait on for backup. Wait on for backup. I'm by myself. I'm by myself. I'm by myself.
If you move, you're gonna get tased. You understand?
He cut himself. You can see his hands bleeding.
I'm by myself. Why you crying for
Probably why he ran.
6 years. We got him detained.
I should have killed you, bitch.
Oh, he's fine.
He said I was going to kill you,
I
bitch.
should have killed you. Okay. You're lucky I didn't. You know that, right? You should thank God for that. I would have killed you in your neck. I would have stabbed you in your neck. You're lucky I didn't. Thank God for that shit.
Well, it's nice he was telling him to thank God. I don't think that had anything to do with God, but
No.
Yeah, I think that had everything to do with crazy and luck. I think he got lucky that he didn't get stabbed bad.
And where is most states going to deal with them at? They're going to put him in a county jail when the guy needs true mental help.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not what I call a bad guy. That's a dude with mental issues that.
Well, yeah, that's not normal human behavior.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yep.
Meth-induced psychosis.
Yeah, that's a thing for sure. Yeah, it could
Yeah.
absolutely be drugs. And
He looks like a
people,
guy I've dealt with.
and people with drug habits that already have mental health issues. That is just a whole nother level. So Big C was with you, Chuck. He said the way he was transitioning from right to left isn't even safe. He's going to have a negligent discharge.
Yeah.
That's killing me. That's killing me. You know?
Yeah. Cody said, would you guys be for a 100-question test that you have to pass with a 90% on a final exam? Because I think if they have that knowledge, it would help before they go out there. No, Cody.
Well, that's a weird assumption that we don't have to pass tests.
Well,
I had to pass the test to get out of the academy.
Here's my problem with tests in general. Some of the smartest people are the biggest dumbasses and make the dumbest mistakes. And if you judge people being smart based on a written test, I think you're wrong in this career field. I will tell you that if I were to pull a barista from Starbucks, or if I were to pull a bartender from your local bar that's hopping all the time, those two guys or girls will make better cops than a guy that graduated top in his class in high school, goes to college, graduates top in his class in college, and then is like, I want to serve, I want to be a cop. I will take the barista and the bartender all day long before I'm going to take Boy Scout that just graduated top of his class. And here's why. The test that we can't test you for, or they haven't developed one that's reliable, is social skills. Social skills and emotional intelligence. If you have those two things, you're a great cop. Hands down. You could be a shitty fighter. You could be a fat blob. If you've got social skills and emotional intelligence, you're going to be a badass cop. Versus you could be the most fit, in shape person and be a fucking nut job and doesn't know how to talk to people and end up shooting a lady with boiling water.
Yep.
It all circles back around, baby.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh geez.
I honestly, and so Cody, that's my thing. I looking at tests, I wish we could find a way to test people on social skills that was a reliable, consistent test. And that hasn't been developed yet because I have worked with them all. Banning, go ahead.
Well, can that be implemented at departments that make their own rules on how they're going to hire people? Absolutely. Should we push for that? Yes. Social skills are the number one thing. I don't know how many guys I've gotten out of the academy, and I spoke about this probably about a year or two ago with Eric. I was getting guys out of the academy during COVID that were considered COVID TCOL trained, which means that they did a lot of their hand-to-hand or defensive tactics, whatever you want to call it, across the state through video training and never had to demonstrate or exercise that in front of a practitioner.
That's horrifying.
And then they got, they were able to, do some handgun training, but some of the rifle training was video based. And then said, once you get to your agency, make sure that you get the proper rifle training. And I'm just like, I understand COVID. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, but why are we as academies releasing people during that? Let's wait till it's better and then make sure the practical knowledge is there.
Correct.
Yeah.
No lowering of standards ever.
Yeah. We might not make it to another video. I'm going to probably cap it here so we don't hit 3 hours. But Cody said, the problem I've been seeing is a lot of cops not knowing the law. I think that they need to make a change as it pertains to that area, just like nursing, plumbing, truck driving, etc. I'm going to say something controversial here, Cody, and you might not like this. And there might be a lot of cops that disagree with me. Our job isn't to know the law. That's not my job. That's a lawyer's job. My job is not to know the law. My job is to understand the elements of offenses.
Yeah, unless the crime.
That's all we learn the Reader's Digest version of the law. Otherwise, I'm a lawyer. And even lawyers don't know all the laws. And they study the laws.
Because there's too many laws for one person to know.
Right.
And let me add to that, Eric. So
Go ahead.
knowing the law and speaking about the state of Texas, and then there was a deal called the Sunset Commission and T-Cole and everything else, and then legislative changes on how many questions they were going to add to the basic police officer academy. So when I got in 2002, aged myself a little bit, I believe, and don't quote me on it, it was a 212 to 215 question final exam. And that was a lot over what's called the CCP, the penal code, the traffic. It had a bit of everything. And there was 5 different versions of the test that were going around the state. So even if you were sitting next to a peer in the academy, they're going to have a completely different test to make sure that ethically, nobody's cheating on it. But the test questions have gotten longer. Some scenarios have gotten better in the academy's basic scenarios, but it's still not, and it's not designed to turn these officers into peace officers. And I understand the argument of, yes, a barber goes through technically a longer school for health and safety. And I understand all that, but just like Eric stated, they're teaching us the elements of the offense to where we know if we even have a violated law in our presence or view is where they're trying to get that in the academy.
Yeah. I like Ryan's comment here. Ryan said if only cops had some kind of smart device, they could look up the laws on the fly. And I want to say that what I am seeing now is they are developing AI internally that doesn't venture outside the police network, that they're going to have this ability now. Where before, if you look up a law on your phone, you're using Google and you're like, all right, Texas law, what's this? Or on their computer in the car, they'll have like the Texas statutes and Texas laws and stuff like that. We do that. We do. But a lot of times where people start getting mad at cops is they just detain somebody. Well, they don't even know the laws. They're detaining them and they don't know if they have a reason to detain them, or they illegally detain them. Well, they think they have the right to detain him. They're just not 100% on the law. So they're like, I think I can detain this guy. Let me go check. Or vice versa. They're like, I'm not sure. Let me go check real quick. They check and then they go detain him. So yes, it's getting better. And I cannot wait for you guys to see some of these body cam updates that they're going to have where it tells them policy in their department. It tells them the Texas state law. Well, the laws. I keep going to Texas because I'm here. But yeah, so there's a lot of cool technology coming out that I think is going to vastly improve policing. But again, it's that
Double-edged
balance.
sword.
Yeah, double-edged sword, because cops are going to abuse it. It's going to happen. It's not if, it's when.
Yep. Right. But if you want to do something too, as a cop, like you're like, I want to get dope, I want to get guns, I want to get all these things. You better know what the heck you're doing if you want to go out and do it. Do the trainings that you need to do. Learn everything, learn what probable cause is. You should know this coming out of the academy. Learn what reasonable suspicion is. Learn the elements of the crime. Learn all of that stuff before you go and try to do all this stuff. And learning narcotics expertise was painful, but it was some of the best stuff that I've ever done, and love narco. Love to get dope as any way I can. And I developed expertises and I developed, certain things for certain areas, and then learn all those different things. It's just going to help you. It's going to protect you as an officer, and you don't need to wait for your department to do it. You can do it yourself, and don't be lazy. It's like anything else. If you got to train it to be good at it.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. All right, boys.
And
done
Cody, keep those questions coming, man. We
Yeah.
we want. That's why we're doing this. We want to better
Yeah.
law enforcement in a whole,
Yeah.
small pieces at a time. So keep them coming.
I think that's what separates us from a lot of law enforcement platforms. Not slamming the other platforms. They all have really great elements that they do, but we invest in our community. There's not a guest that comes on here that doesn't get away without being asked questions or being talked to or us asking the hard questions. We don't avoid what you guys are saying. Now, I will say the chat does get so busy sometimes I can't see them all, y'all. So, and I don't have Alan or Deadleg with me tonight to help filter them. So it's just me trying to do that while talking to these guys. And so is what it is. But yeah, I think that's what separates us is we spend a lot of time trying to communicate with you guys to get your point of view and get the guests that you want. These guys, they want me to have, Texas Law Draw. They want me to have Honor Your Oath. They want me to have the Civil Rights guy. I've had Otto the Law Dog. I've had Long Island Audit. I've had San Joaquin. I've had a lot of these guys that a lot of the people in our audience follow. My goal is to attract as many anti-cop crowd as I can get. Not that saying that y'all are anti-cop, but you definitely hold bad cop accountable crowd. So that's my goal. I don't want to placate and have an echo chamber of people that just love cops because they're cops.
Right.
I don't think we're doing any good with that. So
I don't love cops because they're cops.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So that's the type of crowd we're trying to get. And I think we're doing a good job. And our guys really seem to like you guys tonight. So it's makes it even easier to ask you guys to always come back on. But I want my guys to go to where you're at. So how do they find you?
Chuck, you know all that stuff, don't you?
Yeah, go to the Warlocker Show on Instagram, Facebook. We have two backup. We have a backup. I don't think
our new website for the brand is under construction, but it is the warlockershow.com.
Yeah. You can also email us at checkthisout@thewarlocker.show. But if you go to our Facebook or Instagram at the Warlocker Show, you can message us there, DM us there. Also, you can go to YouTube and it's the Warlocker Show. Go give us a follow there. Hit the notification bell anytime we go live. We do a live show every Thursday at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. Unless something happens, Matt, he's had a stroke. So, sometimes he can't come on and sometimes life happens to me.
Right.
Very rarely do we cancel it. But if we do, we come on, we say, sorry, we would put up a post. We are human. We are running this by ourselves. So that's all we ask is give us some grace when it comes to that stuff. But 99% of the time we're having an episode every Thursday at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, the Warlocker Show live. That will happen unless something crazy happens. And then you can follow us there. Click the link in our bio. Still needs to be cleaned up a little bit as we just did a shift and we're changing things out. But yeah, you can check us out there and follow us.
Hell yeah. So I want people to understand the story. This will be how we end it. The story on your guys' logo with the cartoon, the drawings and all that stuff. Cause I was offered to become a cartoon possibly. And I want people to know what they're looking at.
So when we did the rebrand, we basically came up with like animated versions of all of ourselves as different, creatures. Chuck's a caveman. Marco, our South American friend, is 6'4", 6'5". Has always gone by. He's the gentle giant, right? So he's like Sasquatch. Matt is insane, and he's a jackalope because it just is the most insane animal I could think of. And and then we had Clay Novak as a author and Army veteran, and he's come on a bunch of times. And he'd come on and fill in a couple of times, and so like we have to give an animated character. So it's really
this is what Banning's been on our show.
So it's funny. That's what Clay ended up getting he's Yukon Claynelius now.
Yeah. To the point where on our Discord channel and on our YouTube channel, they created I don't even know what you call them. When they put the little stickers up, they created one of Banning where he's Yukon Cornelius.
That's awesome.
Too funny.
Let me see if I have, I could send, I'll send the logo to you, I think. So if people know what they're looking for, but yeah, it was just a kind of a crazy rebrand. And we thought about, what makes us us, what unites us as people, why do we come together and do this show? And really that's just to kind of, give people an idea, pull back the curtain a little bit on what you go through when you eat human misery for a living. And
like it.
That's it. Oh, there it is.
There's the new logo. You guys can see it off there to the right. It says the Warlocker Show, and I couldn't get it to go bigger, but there you go. It is what it is.
Perfect.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Everybody that took the time to donate their hard-earned money tonight. It did not go unappreciated. Thank you very much. It does help when we do show YouTube stuff and whatnot. It's not uninterrupted because we take your money and we put it into YouTube Premium. It goes into the Restream that we're using. That's a monthly fee. And the rest of that money goes into whatever equipment we need to keep the show up and running. We're waiting for Banning's equipment to get in, actually, so we can see him in 4K and lagging. So once
you need to take a collection to get him satellite internet or something, I think.
It's just he lives in the boons, dude. Yeah. So it's like waiting for fiber to get out there. It's supposed to be coming anytime now, but is what it is. So real quick, this comment caught me. So I'm an ex-criminal and I'm willing to tell the truth from that perspective. The two of that have hats would not mess with you. The other two, I would not have.
Would not have.
We've had people come on our show that have, gone to prison and done other things, and they tell their side of the story. Shit, we had a guy come on who was a drug mule and running dope from Miami with a plane, and ended up working for the DEA. So we love guys like that.
Well, my mods try to get contact info from Lauren. We'll fucking have him on next Sunday. I don't give a fuck. See what he got to say. See how the system either did you right or did you wrong, or where we can improve and what we're doing well. Yep. So that is what we do on here, guys. AI Eric is getting an upgrade soon too. All right, you degenerates, we're over. Everybody, thank you for being on the show tonight, and Warlocker Show. Thank you guys for being on. Everybody.